Shanahan or Howard Griffith, you go through his mom. Yeah, he's a mama's boy and proud of it. She's always been there, from the rough days growing up in San Diego to the injury-filled days in Georgia to the glory days in Denver. TD's mom, one-on-one with Gary Miller.
Who wants Chunky Soup? Terrell, you gotta try this new Chunky Soup!
Thanks to these commercials, Terrell Davis's mom is now a household face. The only problem is, she's not his mom.
Remind you of something?
Terrell's real mom is Catery Davis. And no, she's not jealous of that lady on TV.
Are you happy with the way she portrays Terrell's mom?
I am, and I had the fortunate experience of meeting her. And she's a very nice lady, and we got along tremendously.
Right into the game, they give to Davis running left.
Like fans all over Colorado, TD's mom watched last week as the real TD reappeared against the Jets. Well, she kind of watched.
I was like this. And then like this.
You know, she gave me her game ball, which was cool. She gave me her game ball, which was cool. And, you know, we just talked, and she was just proud and just happy that I was able to stay healthy. And I think that's what everybody was sensing, because every time I would get hit, everybody was sort of like squinching to see whether I would get up or not. And, you know, I'm healthy.
Catery Davis is very involved in the NFL Mothers Association. It's a support group for moms and their sons. So often, she's watching games with other mothers. She and Jamal Anderson's mom were side by side when the Falcons played here earlier this year. But Mrs. Davis did lay some ground rules.
Well, I told her she couldn't do the dirty bird. But I enjoyed her. We had breakfast together. We went out and had dinner later. As you know, with both sons coming back from knee injuries, we were both kind of on pins and needles, because, you know, every time they get hit, you wonder if they're going to be re-injured. And it's a camaraderie that you don't really have with other people.
And certainly other people don't really know what it's like to have a son who's a superstar, who's always in the public eye. And that status comes with many responsibilities. Recently, Patrick Waugh and Brian Greasy both made headlines for very wrong reasons.
Everything is newsworthy. Drunk driving, domestic violence. And I still say, where are the other names of all those people that were arrested that same day that Brian was? You just have to try to stay out as much trouble as you can. And, you know, if you see it, you just have to leave areas sometimes, you know. When Terrell goes out, I always wonder, you know, where is he going to be? Who's he going to be with? Should I go over there? He tells me to leave him alone sometimes, but I remind him of that when he calls me and say, Mama, can you do this?
Tomorrow night, Mrs. Davis will be here for the final Monday night game ever at Mile High Stadium. By the way, she'll be sitting with Eleanor Russell and Elisa Allen. Their sons play for the Raiders. At Mile High Stadium, Gary Miller, News 4 Sports.
All right, the hero, if you will, although there's been a lot of them tonight, a 41-yard field goal to win it as the game ended, and this is what a kicker lives for, isn't it, moments like this?
Well, I don't know if it's what they live for, but this is where we earn our keep, and it was fun. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun, and we definitely needed to have that game. Had we lost that game, we would have been in a lot of trouble, so we kind of approached it all week like a playoff game, and definitely had that atmosphere with the fans and between the two teams. So I'm just happy to be a part of this team. I think we can do something pretty special down the stretch.
Yeah, and it's got to be special for you because of the adversity you faced, the injury you had. You didn't know when you'd be able to come back and to do this on national TV and keep the Broncos in the hunt is really something.
It is. I mean, I feel really good right now. So, you know, there's no pain in my back or anything. I've been slowly getting my strength back. I still don't feel like I'm completely normal, but I feel more normal than I did, you know, a month ago or even 2 weeks ago. So, you know, I'm just happy to be a part of this right now.
All right, great. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. We'll be back in just a few minutes here in the locker room.
Mike.
Thanks, Tom. A lot of heroes tonight, and one of them is with me. Ian Gold, hold that ball up there. A game ball. You blocked the punt, huh? Big play.
Yeah, this one goes to my mom. I mean, you know, the guys did a great job, and you know, unfortunately, I got the block, so in the touchdown. So.
Tell me about it. It was the first one in 21 years by a Bronco.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, everybody's telling me that. And, you know, I just came through, you know, Desmond and D-Tron and, you know, the rest of the guys did a great job and opened up the hole. And I came wide through, wide open. And fortunately, I got the block. And I looked around and saw the ball, picked it up, and got to the end zone. So,
you go out and celebrate tonight.
Yeah, me and my brother are going to go out and have a good time. He's in town for a few days, and going to enjoy his company. And, you know, this is a good one, man.
Sure was. Keeps the playoff hopes alive. Thanks, Ian. Congratulations. Nice to see you. All right, Tom, that's it from the locker room. Obviously very jubilant. Brian Greasy just went in to meet the media. Boy, he's got the big thing on his shoulder, and, of course, the separated ligament in his shoulder. They shot him up at halftime, and whether he can play next Sunday remains to be seen.
And a very tough night for you, Mike, with Brian Greasy and Ian Gold, a couple of Michigan Wolverines really making the difference.
I never thought the day, you know. Well, what are you going to do, Tom? Plus, I took a chill, as you all know earlier. It has been a good night for me.
All right, thanks a lot.
Of the National Football League from CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 35.
Kick on the way. It is good! And the Broncos are alive in the AFC West. With the win, they're back in the hunt, but they'll have to do it without their emotional leader, Brian Greasy. For San Diego, nothing has gone right this year, but a win against their divisional rival today could change their fortunes. Welcome to Mile High Stadium, where today the Chargers meet the Broncos, and stepping center stage at quarterback is Gus Frerotte, in for the injured Brian Greasy. The Denver Broncos have been building their record. They're now up to 6-4 with 2 straight very important wins, so they're back in the playoff hunt. And good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. Some late developing news here in Denver. The great runner for the Broncos, Terrell Davis, will not play with a leg injury. But a rookie who's stepping in for him, Mike Anderson's a real good player.
Well, Mike Anderson has started for the Broncos for 6 games, but he's never started in a game like this. You see, he's been very successful, but today he has to be successful. The Broncos must run the football with a backup quarterback in the game. Mike Anderson has to fill that void.
The winless Chargers turn to Ryan Leaf at quarterback today, the guy they hope would be the future of the franchise when he was drafted out of Washington State 3 years ago. He did have a great week of practice.
He did. He won the starting job in training camp, then injuries forced him out of the lineup. Now he's got 6 weeks to prove to this organization he is the guy that they'd hoped he would be when they drafted him.
There is Ryan Leaf and his head coach, Mike Riley, who said his players have given him everything they can give, every practice, every game, but they've had so many bad turns of fortune. And across the way, Mike Shanahan, a guy regarded by many as maybe the best coach in the game, very optimistic about his team's future now after the wins over the Jets on the road and the Raiders here on Monday night. The Broncos kick off. Ball is hit downfield, and this is Rodney Jenkins. Breaks it across the 25. Ball on the field, and the Chargers recover the fumble at their 32-yard line. The nemesis of the Chargers this year has been turnovers. They're minus 18 in the turnover count, and a Bronco is down. Here comes Ryan Leaf in his 3rd year out of Washington State, the number 2 player picked in the draft when he came out. You see his numbers, limited playing time. But he seems to have a renewed attitude, Steve, about playing well.
Yeah, he really seems excited about getting back in there. He did win the job to be the starter for this Charger franchise early in training camp. And then due to injuries and ineffectiveness, they've had an absolute merry-go-round at quarterback.
Trying to spot the number of the player who was injured covering the kick. Johnny Greer is our referee. And getting up is Chris Cole, a wide receiver who is expected to get substantial playing time from scrimmage today. It looks like Chris twisted an ankle or a knee, but looks to be coming off it pretty well.
Your watch here, right in the middle of the screen, right there. The player rolled over the top of him, but I think he hurt himself just planting in the grass trying to change direction. And you can see there, even he got up, he was kind of limping. Now as he walks to the sideline, he's walking smoother and smoother.
I think something you really have to point out, Steve, when you get around the Chargers, people must wonder, is this 0-10 team just phoning it in? Do they care? Let me tell you something. They care, and every coach we talk to that plays them, like Mike Holmgren from Seattle and Mike Shanahan, said they have as tough a defense as we played.
They are playing very, very hard every down.
Ryan Leaf with an eye set in his backfield. They're using a lot of max pass protection today. Fazan runs the ball, and as he does, he is stopped at about the 32-yard line, and it looks like a penalty, an illegal procedure.
Left tackle.
So the Chargers with a potential drive killer, the left tackle in motion early. That makes it 1st and 15, and really the chances of converting a first down diminish. Offensive line, Coleman, Roundtree, Fortin, Gogan, and Parker. Fazan and McCrary the backs, Graham and Conway the wide receivers, Freddie Jones the young and outstanding tight end. Ryan Leaf takes a look, throws it beautifully to Graham, and he's across the 35-yard line out to the 36. Ryan Leaf hit everything he threw in practice. Of course, that's 7-on-7 drills. As we look now at the front of the Broncos, small and very fast as defensive lines go. Tuanavasa, Traylor, Price, and Pittman. Mobley, Wilson, and Romanowski back the line. And in the secondary for the Denver Broncos, Crockett and Buckley are the corners. Eric Brown and Billy Jenkins are the safeties. Second down. Chargers need 6. They go to Fazan, and he breaks into open field. And Jermaine Fazan, who rushed for 183 yards against the Broncos here last December in a San Diego win at Mile High, runs for 27 yards.
Well, this Bronco defense is built to pursue, but right here, you'll watch as the left guard comes around. You see that Raleigh Roundtree comes out, kicks out the linebacker, and Fazan just runs right in behind him, and Bill Romanowski ends up just chasing the play down from behind. This Broncos defense plays extremely well, but they go through stretches where they give up big plays.
Well, we saw them give up all those big plays to Cincinnati running back Corey Dillon when he rushed for an NFL record against them. Again, they go to Jermaine Fazan, who Greg Robinson, the D coordinator for the Broncos, calls the most physical back in the NFL.
Yeah, this defense for the Broncos is playing against a San Diego offense that has been ineffective because of the problems they've had at quarterback. And this Bronco defense, you know, they're going to step up and say, okay, this Ryan Leaf hasn't shown anything yet in his career. We're going to make him beat us. But the running game is not going to.
Yeah, they said they want to rattle Leaf, get a big rush on him. They're going to use a lot of pass blockers in the San Diego offense to protect him. Leaf has time, and now he runs the ball. Ryan Leaf dives ahead, and the ball is going to be bobbled, and it's looked like it's recovered by the Chargers at about the 35-yard line. So they don't want Leaf running. That's not what they hired him for.
No, one of the things that's happened to these Chargers, they have fumbled the ball and thrown so many interceptions. Their turnover ratio has killed them. Ryan Leaf, you'll see here, he's got to tuck the ball away. Bang, right there. Keith Traylor knocks the ball out of Leaf's hands, and instead of getting a 4-yard gain, they get a 3-yard loss.
And that 3-yard loss makes it 3rd down and 8. Here's the blitz. They pick it up. Leaf throws another connection. It's good for a first down. Curtis Conway coming off the flank. Catches his 29th ball of the year. Good for 11 yards and a first down. Everybody in the camp of the Chargers, Steve, said that Ryan Leaf had the best week of practice he's had in the 3 years he's been there.
That's right. You see here, this is just 2 slants he's hit, both to the right side. He doesn't have to read a defense. He doesn't have to do anything complicated. Just drop back and deliver the ball. And if you don't be this, you aren't the second guy picked in the draft unless you can really throw well. And Ryan Leaf throws those balls as well as anybody.
And he's big at 6'5", 250 pounds. For the run, the very quick Terrell Fletcher shoots into the defense of the Broncos. Broncos are a dangerous defense, though, excellent at knocking the ball free. 4-yard gain on that play brings up 2nd down and 6. Billy Jenkins was on the tackle.
And Terrell Fletcher there is a guy who's seeing more and more action now as they've had their problems on offense. Terrell Fletcher's been the guy that has given them a spark, both and just taking a handoff out of the backfield, plus catching passes out of the backfield. He's very versatile, very quick, very fast.
Not big. 5'9", 196. But as you point out, excellent quickness. Good receiver. Back to Terrell Fletcher. And good run defense by the Broncos. They send a linebacker into the gap, and a safety comes in there also. Billy Jenkins came up, number 32, and made the stop.
And Terrell Terrell Fletcher just came up, and that was just, they had too many guys at the line of scrimmage to block. The Broncos just threw a lot of people up there. They anticipated the run. You'll watch here. Everybody here, right there, there's just nobody to block him as he comes in. Bang, right there. There's just too many players up there. Billy Jenkins steps up and makes the tackle.
Fletcher, the lone setback on 3rd down. Ryan Leaf takes a look, throws an out ball. It's caught beautifully. And Graham powers his way ahead for a 1st down. So Jeff Graham, the 10-year veteran out of Ohio State, makes a huge play going up for the ball and then driving ahead on Terrell Buckley for 7 yards and a 1st down.
Already Mike Riley's got to feel just a little better. I mean, this is the first drive that has been very effective. They started out with a penalty, overcame it, converted a couple of 3rd downs. Ryan Leaf is delivering the football very well.
They had a ball on the field at one point,
too. This is the Charger team that they wish they had fielded the entire year.
Chargers going with a power set. With a run. Fletcher cutting back into the middle, and Terrell Fletcher takes it all the way down to the 2-yard line, and he's ahead for a gain of 11 yards, almost 12. And it's 1st and goal for the winless San Diego Chargers.
This is the one thing that the Denver Broncos did not want to happen. San Diego comes in, hasn't won a game all year. They've got nothing to play for except for pride. And you know what? That's when teams are the most dangerous. They've got nothing to lose. Let it all hang out. Let's go.
There is Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator. Leaf has thrown the ball 3 times, has completed all 3 for 27 yards. To the run, and great defense by the Broncos. As coming in to make the stop was Kavika Pittman, the right defensive end, who has really come out. He was a 1st-round draft choice of the Cowboys back in '96. Came here as a free agent.
What a huge play by Pittman. He'll come right off the corner, couldn't get the scoop block on him, and he just slices in and makes the play from the backside. They thought it would take him longer to get up the line of scrimmage, but he had an inside slant, and it gave him the angle to get inside the blocker.
Another power set with double tight ends. Conway, the flanker, to the lower right of your screen. Throw. Intercepted at the goal line. The drive is stopped as Bill Romanowski intercepts the ball. And the Charger drive is stopped. And Coach Mike Riley sees that demon rise up and fight his Chargers again. They have now thrown 21 interceptions at the Chargers, the most in the NFL this year. Now the Denver Broncos, after the interception by Bill Romanowski, go 1st and 10. Chargers look like they jumped into the gap. Junior Seau might have left early, and that'll get him out of jail a little bit and advance the Bronco offense out 5 yards. Here's Johnny Greer.
Encroachment, number 55, defense. First down.
Let's take a look at the interceptions,
well,
Steve.
This is the interception right here. And, well, this is the first play from scrimmage that you just saw. This is Junior Seau right there. He does that a lot, trying to anticipate the count. He's right more often than he's wrong, but on that occasion, he wasn't right.
Now the Broncos try to run the ball. There's not much there. Coming up was Rodney Harrison, the hard tackling #1 tackler for the Chargers, the strong safety. Ball is at the 9-yard line. Be 2nd down and about 4.
That's one thing you don't want to do. You've got the opponents down on their 2-yard line. Don't give them a 5-yard play for free. Now they've got breathing room. They can run their normal offense, and they can get their breath.
It looked like complete quarterback error on the interception that Ryan Leaf threw after he was playing so well, driving the team down the field. Farrat takes a look, dumps it off, and that ball was up for grabs. It skips off the hands of his fullback, Howard Griffith. As we look at the Broncos on offense. Jones, Friedman, Nalen, and the right guard, Dan Neal and Matt Lepsis on the right side. Anderson and Griffith, the runners. Rod Smith and McCaffrey, 128 catches between them so far. Carswell, the tight end. The tight ends of the Broncos have combined for 72 catches so far this year. So they're making up for the loss to free agency of Shannon Sharp. Farrat on 3rd down, and the ball is tipped. Junior Seau got a hand on it. This is a man who comes up Sunday morning, gets out of bed pumped and ready.
Just as we did on the first play of this drive, Junior Seau times the snap.
So the interception by Bill Romanowski gave the Broncos the ball, but it gave them very poor field position, and now Tom Ruins into punt. And there's Nate Jaquette back for the Chargers. San Diego could come out of this with very good field position. Punting from his end zone. Ruin hits an end-over-end knuckleball, and it's out of bounds, and the Chargers are going to get very good field position on a short punt. Linesman comes down, and they'll mark it out at about the 42-yard line.
For driving.
The Broncos standing tall over Mile High Stadium, the final year of this great football building. One of the all-time sights of NFL football, a beautiful stadium going up right next to it. So the Chargers meeting the Broncos for the last time at Mile High. Everything's the last time. It was the last Monday night game when they beat the Raiders last Monday night at Mile High. Here the run. Terrell Fletcher finds a gap in the Broncos defense and takes the ball to the 35-yard line as Romanowski is down to make the tackle.
Yeah, moments ago you saw Ryan Leaf. Watch the good coverage here. This is the interception. You watch Freddie Jones come across, and as he gets here, Terrell Buckley will keep Freddie Jones from continuing, and Romanowski just stays with him. You see the wheels turning in Ryan Leaf. He throws the football. You see Freddie Jones there is held up by the defensive back, and that caused the interception.
And so far, Steve, the Chargers have outgained the Broncos 72 yards to 2. On second down and a long 3, the run is stopped cold by the Denver defense. Get live updates for each NFL game as it happens. Just click on live scores at cbs.sportsline.com. On October 8th at Qualcomm Stadium, Denver beat San Diego 21-7. Ryan Griese threw 3 touchdowns that day, 2 to Ed McCaffrey. Third down. Open backfield. Leaf is going to throw, and a blitz is going to be after him. Leaf makes the throw. Comes in late to the wrong side of Curtis Conway, so it's incomplete. And John Carney, and now they're going to send, it looks like, the field goal unit out. Or will they punt the ball? There's some decision being made on the far sideline.
Now it looks as though they'll probably go for it. Yeah, they're sending him back off the field. Jaron Bennett, that's the punter for the Chargers. He was going to step out. And now Ryan Leaf and the offense stays out. I think this is a good move by Mike Riley. Why not?
Hey, you're 0-10.
Hey, yeah, exactly right. Give this guy, Ryan Leaf, a chance to do something, make a play. He's had a guy open. He had a guy open on the slant just a moment ago and just missed him.
The officials now call a timeout that was signaled for before the snap of the ball by the Broncos. So the Broncos want to make sure their defense is in alignment. And there's a timeout on the field now with 6:43 to go in the scoreless first quarter. There is the 14-year veteran at quarterback, Jim Harbaugh, who's been working closely with Ryan Leaf. Harbaugh in uniform, but because of a hernia, they hope not to have to play him. Fourth down. Chargers need a long 2, almost 3. Leaf hit his first 3 throws, has missed his last 2. He gets time. He makes the connection. It's a first down. As Terrell Fletcher comes out of the backfield and wisely plants himself right where he had to be for a first down. A gain of 5 yards on the play.
And that's got to be a confidence boost for the Chargers. Ryan Leaf connecting on a very crucial 4th down conversion. And Kavika Pittman is not getting up.
Pittman has been a top player. He has 6 sacks so far this season for the Broncos. Signed as an unrestricted free agent this year. He was a disappointment in Dallas after they drafted him #1 out of McNeese State. But he has been terrific, and now Mike Shanahan sees his injury problems compounded. His starting quarterback Brian Griese's out today. His best runner Terrell Buckley's out, Terrell Davis. And now he sees his best pass rusher, Kavika Pittman, having his right leg looked at. Good news on Kavika Pittman, the pass rusher for the Broncos, walked off under his own power, did not seem to be seriously hurt, but he's out of the game on this play. A first down and 10. The Chargers have the last ranked offense in the NFL. Well, they haven't looked like it today. Ryan Leaf takes a look, eludes the rush, and finally he's sacked. The 32nd sack of the season for the Denver Broncos. Trevor Price gets his 9th of the year.
Well, this was not Ryan Leaf's fault, this sack. You watch here. This is a pump fake. The receiver broke deep just as he's ready to release it. Trevor Price flashes, and he can't release it. It was too big a risk. He did the right thing. Take the sack. It was a long developing pass play, and it cost him the sack.
Cost him a sack, and it brings up 2nd down and 15 from the Broncos 35. Blitz. Leaf waits, delivers, and a penalty marker comes in. It looks like it might be a foul on the Broncos. If it is, it will be a 1st down. There is one of the better defenders, Ray Crockett. Seth told us yesterday.
Number 39, defense. 1st down.
Tom Crockett, he said yesterday, we've got to rattle Ryan Leaf.
He does exactly what he said. Now watch here as he come in. It'll happen right at the top of the route. There he wraps his arm around his seat, keeps himself from running past. That's illegal. It's a good call on Ray Crockett. He tried to use the receiver to put the brakes on himself, and it cost him the flag.
Cost him the flag, and they gained 12 yards on the penalty. So the Chargers in the scoreless game drive on. Good fake. Open man. Freddie Jones can't get to the ball as Leaf underthrows him. Ryan Leaf in disgust over his errant throw. He had a tight end running so open, nobody was in the picture with him. But he came in short.
He knows any point. You see him there pointing at Freddie Jones. That was his fault. All he has to do is get this out there, and he just aimed it too much. He took too much off of it. He knew it was an easy throw, and he just took it too easy. It's just underthrown. He knew it was easy, and that's the most maddening thing in football, when you've got the big play and you blow it.
But you know you're going to see it again, that play, when Jones is running that open. 2nd and 10. Fazan cutting back. And the Broncos slam him. And number 94, Keith Traylor, was the first guy to hit him. Romanowski also making a play. And that brings up 3rd down and 10.
And one thing you also notice about that, Billy Jenkins, the safety, was up in the backfield stopping that run as well. They're throwing a lot of people up at the run game. Ryan Leaf has had a little bit of success throwing the football. They've had guys running open, but the Broncos still don't believe he can beat them.
Well, 3rd down comes up. Last week when he came in against the Dolphins, Leaf completed 5 straight 3rd down throws. Needs a big one here. 3rd down and 10 from the Broncos 23. Man, he was trying to screen the ball, but Romanowski almost had his 2nd interception. And now the field goal unit comes out.
Terrell Fletcher was out there, and Terrell Fletcher couldn't decide what he was going to do. He kind of hops around. Ryan Leaf needs him to snap open, and Terrell Fletcher just got caught up in the traffic. Goes right over the top of Terrell Fletcher, and that's just, you know, it's just missed timing. That's what happens when you don't play for a long time and you come in and you try and make it happen. It works in practice, but it's tougher in live action.
41-yard field goal attempt by one of the all-time kickers in the NFL, John Carney. Carney steps into it and drives it down the middle, and the underdog Broncos take the lead 3-0. So with 4:41 to go in the first quarter, the Chargers lead, and they'll kick off. Runner Terrell Davis smartly attired in some Denver Bronco winter wear, but unfortunately for the Broncos, Terrell can't go today. An injured leg keeps him out. Right now, after the field goal by John Carney from 41 yards out, Carney's ready to kick it off. Delta O'Neal is back deep, the rookie from Cal. This is a guy who took a shot on Monday night. A lot of people wouldn't have survived, and he stayed in the game. He's out one play. Ball goes out of bounds, and so the Broncos will get very good field position as they try to kick away from Delta O'Neal, but instead give up would be the equivalent of a
Placed at the 40-yard line.
would be the equivalent of a very good return, as the ball will be spotted 1st and 10 at the 40. Friday on CBS, Dr. Rick. Broncos offense has been a fugitive so far today, missing in action. They've hardly had the ball at all. Farrak, timing throw, guns it out beautifully to Ed McCaffrey. Almost a late hit as McCaffrey's driven out of bounds at the 48-yard line after a 13-yard gain. Harrison and Fakir Brown got him. Front for the Chargers, Fontenot, Williams, Perella, and McCall. Dixon, Ruff, and Seau back the line. And at the corners, Fakir Brown and Deron Jenkins, Dumas and Harrison are the safeties. Dolphins really went after Fakir Brown last week. The run. The rookie Anderson running hard. Mike Anderson comes in averaging almost 5 yards a carry. 679 yards rushing so far this season.
And we've talked so much today about the fact that Terrell Davis is out. Brian Griese is out. They've got to run the football. It's much more difficult to be good in the passing game with a backup than it is in the running game. Watch Junior Seau. This defense with Junior Seau and the rest of this gang and John Perella, they are so tough to run on. It just takes a lot away from their opponent's offense.
Right now, the Denver offense sets up with a passing down. Barat is going to be sacked as Jamal Williams comes in to get him. There's also a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage, and they're signaling a holding call. Could be against the Broncos.
Yeah, they'll decline that. They'll take the sack and lose the down. But this defense for the San Diego Chargers has played as well as any in the NFL.
Holding, 78, offense. It's declined. Third down.
They'll take the sack and the used up down, and that'll make it now third down, and the Broncos will need 16, a loss of 6.
Gus Frerotte just steps up into the pocket, get a little pump fake, and then he has to try to make it something happen with his wheels, and the pursuit gets him. That's just a good coverage sack, a good defensive play all the way around.
Fontenot got pressure on the quarterback, and then Jamal Williams got the sack. So let's see what they go to now. Frerotte takes a drop. Here comes the rush. He delivers the ball downfield to McCaffrey. Where are they going to spot it? They're going to spot it. Looks like, well, now the lineman comes in. Looks like it's going to be a Bronco spot.
He kind of gave him the little snake spot there. He kind of weaved as he came in from the sideline, deciding where he was going to spot it.
This is a tough call, perhaps, for the Chargers. Let's see where Ed gets the ball.
Ed McCaffrey just comes up, and this is just a route that is designed to go as deep as the stick is.
He didn't get there.
He didn't get there. They may give it to him.
Oh, they got it with the spot.
They got it. Yeah, they gave him the spot. Ed McCaffrey's just a guy who does everything right. And it's tough to beat a guy who never makes a mistake and does everything right.
You could clearly see that Ed McCaffrey, making a great play, did not get to where he had to be for the first down, but the linesman came in and gave it to him. And the Broncos march on.
You'd almost think that maybe Mike Riley would challenge the spot for the ball.
Now we go to 5 defensive backs. And we have a timeout call by the Denver Broncos as Mike Shanahan wants to counsel his offense. Back to Mile High in a moment. Here is Ed McCaffrey, who made a 16-yard gain on a third down catch. And the spot was good for a first down. And now the Broncos, down by 3 on their home field, go first down and 10. Mike Anderson cutting back. John Perella gets him. Former teammate of yours with the Buffalo Bills, who gave the Broncos some help today, did the Bills. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs at KC.
Yeah, now the Broncos are in a great spot to distance themselves from the Chiefs. And that guy, John Perella, came to San Diego, was a backup for the Buffalo Bills, but came to San Diego and just blossomed into a great defensive tackle.
Frerotte on second down, takes a look, throws to the near side to McCaffrey, and now a penalty marker's fired in. And that will be advanced. Let's see if the call is against the Chargers, and that is the signal from referee Johnny Greer.
Really have to look at this drive, and the San Diego Chargers had a sack, and then they got the bad spot for the first down.
Illegal hands to the face, number 23, defense. First down.
They got the bad spot for the first down on this series, and then now they're getting the penalty in the backfield, defensive backfield, that is keeping this drive alive for the Broncos. The Broncos are moving the football, but they don't look that effective.
Well, the Broncos, I mean, emotionally, what they went through Monday night, they were in a war with the Raiders on this field and won it. It was an unbelievably important victory. Now it's first down and 10. Frerotte stands in, gets time, delivers the ball, and it's caught beautifully. His outstanding wideout combination of the Denver Broncos. Rod Smith makes his 65th catch of the year. Ron Jenkins was the victimized cornerback, a gain of 9 yards on the play.
Well, we saw it a moment ago. Ed McCaffrey just runs up to where the first down marker is, turns around. Gus Frerotte looks off the defensive backs and just throws to the first down marker. And another first down for the Broncos. We're very close to it.
Ball is positioned just inside the San Diego 22-yard line. They are so good, these wideouts, McCaffrey and Smith. Handoff, and Mike Davis, the rookie running back out of Utah, the former U.S. Marine. Mike Anderson taking the ball ahead, and he, with a cutback, both arms on the ball, Anderson drives it inside the 20-yard line. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play, with the score of the San Diego Chargers 3 and the Denver Broncos nothing. So the clock will wind down. McKell on the stop for the Chargers. 3-0 Chargers. Will return to Mile High Stadium in Denver after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Mike Riley, the second-year head coach of the San Diego Chargers. Last year his team started 4-1, then went on a losing streak, and over the last 5 games they went 4-1 again and finished 8-8. This year off to an 0-10 start. The only Chargers start that was worse was back in '75 when the Chargers started 0-11. Frerotte, lots of time, ball to the end zone. Penalty marker is thrown on the defender, Deron Jenkins.
It was going to be pass interference. No question about it. They got him with a post corner. Deron Jenkins just got caught up with contact and got tangled up with Rod Smith, and that always goes against the defensive back.
Pass interference, number 23, defense, in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line.
And that, Steve, is a 17-yard gain on the penalty.
Watch there, Rod Smith turns, and then he goes back to the corner, and Jenkins is just in his way, and he fights him the whole way. The flag comes out early. It's illegal contact down the field, but the ball was in the air, so it's not illegal contact. It's interference.
Watch Mike Anderson, the I-back, the deep back in behind the blocking back Griffith. Play fake to Anderson, a throw, incomplete. Going to the tight end, Desmond Clark, who is a rising star at tight end. He's caught 20 balls, one for a touchdown, but he really is able to extend the field, a deep pass runner.
And you'll notice here, right, you'll see Adrian Dingle is on coverage of the tight end. He's a defensive end, and they tried to cross up the blocking schemes of the Bronco by rushing different people than the offensive linemen are used to seeing. They drop out the big guys and send the little guys, and it leaves them thin in the secondary when the big guys are trying to guard people.
Big guys and little guys, they try to get the overmatch. Right now, there's a big guy behind the quarterback, Frerotte, Mike Anderson. 230-pound backs, throw to the near side, and McCaffrey's in the end zone. His 6th touchdown catch of the year, and the Broncos take the lead.
Ed McCaffrey gives a hesitation on the motion, just runs for the pylon. If the ball is there, it's a touchdown, and Frerotte delivers it.
Guy wears no pads. It's obvious he doesn't miss any time in the weight room.
No. He wears shoulder pads and a helmet, and that's it.
Very small shoulder pads. Like an offensive lineman's. Here is the extra point driven up and through by Jason Elam. And so the Broncos come down the field and score early in the second quarter to take a 7-3 lead. They'll kick off, and we come back to Mile High. Big Ed McCaffrey in the end zone with a 6th touchdown catch of the year from a yard out. The key play in the drive was the 17-yard reception by McCaffrey. And then the penalty against the defensive secondary of the Chargers. Got it down 1st and goal at the 1. Here comes Rodney Jenkins for San Diego. Hard hit put on him. Coming down to make that hard hit was Ian Gold, who blocked a punt, ran it in for a touchdown against the Raiders. He hits people with such reckless abandon, they call Ian Gold, his teammates do, the crash test dummy.
Now this is earlier. This is the first down that was crucial. It was 3rd and 17. Ed McCaffrey comes off the line. Watch where they spot the ball. He's past the line right there. But watch as he comes back. Now he's in front of the line as the ball gets there. They gave him the first down that kept that drive alive. And both you and I thought they should have challenged the spot of the football.
That was on a 3rd and 16 play, and the Broncos kept it going and scored on the pass play. On the run now, Fazan, the big back. number 2 pick of the Chargers out of Oklahoma, 99, gains 9 yards.
Fazan is a guy they need to play well, but also this is a Charger offense. The most crucial thing for them today is just to hang on to the football. They've dropped it on the ground twice already, managed to recover it, but they've also turned it over once with an interception. San Diego has fought one thing and one thing only all year: turnovers.
It's been a killer. San Diego minus 19 in turnovers this year. And you remember they had 2 fumbles earlier in this game that they recovered, 2 of their own fumbles, before the Romanowski interception that stopped the drive. Handoff. Fazan still gets plus yards as he's hitting the backfield. And he is taken down at about the 31-yard line. Coming up on the NASDAQ.
Team has been in every game that's played in this year, and it only because of the turnover ratio have they not been able to make the play that it took to win the game.
They've had leads in 4 games in the 4th quarter of the Chargers. Here's a throw by Leaf, an open guy. Look at that play. Curtis Conway. The deep speed they've been lacking, and Curtis Conway putting on moves, the former All-American of Southern California. What a play! He's got a touchdown. They're going to give it to him. He hit the pylon.
What a fantastic run.
68 yards worth of fantastic.
By Curtis Conway. You won't see a better run than that by a wide receiver all year.
By anybody all year.
He comes open on the post. The ball is delivered on the money by Ryan Leaf. You haven't seen him make a throw like this in a long time. Perfect catch. Watch as he makes 2 guys miss. The 3rd guy again, 4 or 5. Here comes 6, and then he's got to outrun all 6 of the guys that had a shot at him to the corner, and he does it.
The only guy we've seen, Steve, with moves like that is the rookie for Cincinnati, the only wide receiver, Peter Warwick, who can go all over the field and make people miss. So the Chargers hit on a 68-yard touchdown pass play. The extra point is driven up and through. And for a second time today, the San Diego Chargers take the lead, now 10-7, on an absolutely brilliant play by Curtis Conway. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker back at Mile High Stadium, where we've just seen one of the all-time plays by Curtis Conway, who just ran all over the field. A 68-yard scoring play in combination with that man, Ryan Leaf, to give the Chargers the lead for a second time. By 3-point margins, now 10-7. Here's Carney kicking off. We'll watch that play again after the return by Delta O'Neal. On the run across the 15. And O'Neal dives out to the 25-yard line. And there the Broncs go 1st and 10. Tackled by Scott Turner. Watch this play.
Ryan Leaf just drops back and throws just the simple post route. You'll watch the safety step up, and he throws it right over his head. Right there. Conway catches it. Crockett's chasing him. Terrell Buckley chases him. Then
everybody chases.
John Mobley, Al Wilson. There's Romanowski. Now Ray Crockett's going to try and push him out of bounds to the pylon, and the pylon counts as a goal line. Leafer line, the Australian signal for a touchdown.
So Ryan Leaf, who was intercepted at the goal line by Bill Romanowski earlier to stop a drive, hits the big play to Conway. Now let's see if the Broncos can answer. Here's a good fake. Farrat buys time. Long ball going downfield to Griffith. We were talking to Gus Fry yesterday, Steve. We were talking about how the fullback is always open. He's been going to him twice now.
That's exactly right. The fullback is the only guy that's always in the backfield, and he's the only guy that everybody always forgets about.
Well, he said he goes out the flank as like a safety valve, and guys just say, well, leave him alone. Nobody's going to throw it to him.
Exactly. Well, they forget about him. He runs up into the line of scrimmage and then pops out late, and it's like, oh, yeah, there he is. And the quarterback finds him.
But Farrat's played a very cool, under-control game, much like the guy he's succeeding for 4 weeks, the injured Brian Greasy. Good fakes. Reads all his receivers. Quick out. That's almost a pick if it was. It had gone for 6 for the Chargers.
That ball was tipped in the backfield. He didn't even have a chance to throw.
Monday on CBS, when Florence Henderson cooks Thanksgiving dinner for the King of Queens, it ain't the Brady Bunch. Kevin James stars in an all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS. Kevin James, there's a guy that can do some damage to a turkey. Yeah. Kevin James was a top high school football player, widely recruited out on Long Island outside of New York City.
If I ever look like that after I'm done playing, Don, you can, remind me of that so I can go on a diet.
Like you said, he looks like a 40-year-old former high school star. He's got a great hit show, and now
delay of game.
Farrat, the play is negated by a penalty marker coming in before the snap of the ball.
Delay. Offense. Still 3rd down.
Brian Griese on the sidelines, probably for 4 weeks. He's listening into the offensive coaches in the booth. His dad, Bob Griese, is here today. Bob told me before the game he doesn't know where Brian got that toughness, maybe from his mom.
Yeah.
He's got toughness, though. What a player. Ironically, he was drafted in the 3rd round the same year that Ryan Leaf was picked number 2 in the 1st round.
That's exactly right.
And Ryan Leaf, there's more to be heard from Ryan Leaf. This is not an end of the story. Here's a throw. Anderson takes the ball out to the 29-yard line, and Junior Seau brings him down. And the Charger defense holds on 3rd down, and the Broncos will have to punt the ball. I'll tell you one guy ready to play, Junior Seau, saying all of these guys, they're playing for love of the game, for pride. Every one of us leaves the field knowing we did everything we can. It hasn't been good enough so far.
It's interesting because all those guys, you get the feeling they love going to work, especially the guys on the defensive side of the ball. They love playing football, and they're having a good time still, even in the midst of this season.
0-10 season so far. Nate Jaquette is back now for the San Diego Chargers. Number 28, they set up a return right. And Jaquette gets across the 35-yard line and out to about the 37. So Tom Ruin, the punter, comes off the field, and the San Diego Chargers ready to go on. We're back to Mile High Stadium with the San Diego Chargers on the right arm of Ryan Leaf. Have taken back the lead, and now they go on offense after a 3-and-out series for the Broncos. See Leaf last week and how he's doing today. Play faking. Ryan Leaf buys time. He takes a look. Dumps it off and gets it to his tight end, and Steve Hayden gets out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
That is a great play by Ryan Leaf. Just a nice, cool little pitch. You see here, this is his record as a starter. And this is what he's done. He's 1 interception on every 16 pass attempts. This is a guy that has struggled like nobody else has ever struggled. I mean, it's been an adventure for Ryan Leaf thus far in his career. But nevertheless, the guy's got loads of potential, loads of ability.
Well, he wouldn't get drafted that high. And I think his teammates are back behind him now. He's had really a change in attitude, and right now he gives it to Fazand, who drives into the Bronco defense, and Denver slams the door on that. Middle backer Al Wilson makes the stop.
You see Ryan Leaf there, and he's had a couple of head coaches already as a San Diego Charger, and the guy he's got now, Mike Riley, is a player's coach. I mean, the players like coaching for him. He's a guy that came out of college. He takes care of his guys. He's very upbeat, he's just a great guy. Everybody loved the guy. But by the same token, Mike Riley's had to make some tough decisions about Ryan Leaf already.
Oakland Raiders going to 9-2 on the year, as are the Tennessee Titans. Those are your co-favorites in the American Conference. Right now, here's Leaf firing. What a play. It's a catch. Jeff Graham comes down with the ball and somehow got his feet in bounds. That's as sensational as the touchdown run.
If you want to make a quarterback look good, make catches like this. Are you kidding me? Jeff Graham comes out. Now you see the safety, Eric Brown, running out underneath Jeff Graham. Like Ryan Leaf throws it over the top where only Jeff Graham can catch it. That was a great throw, maybe ill-advised, but Jeff Graham makes it look great.
And are we going to get a challenge from the Denver Broncos? If they do, it might be a mistake. Now the ruling is out.
Oh, I don't know. I would challenge that.
It looks like.
I want to hear his reasoning for this. Now let's listen to what Mike Riley hears. Now he may say that there's no way that they can challenge what the ruling was. They may say he didn't have control of it when he came down out of bounds.
Well, if he's ruling out that he's bobbling the ball, case is closed. It's incomplete.
Yeah, that's the only way they would not be able to review it.
Here's Johnny Greer, the only man who knows for sure.
We'll see if Johnny explains it to the rest of us.
He's got a few Chargers who want an explanation before he does that.
Ryan Leaf wants an explanation. He needs throws like that. Now maybe we will get a challenge. Now he's going.
San Diego is challenging the ruling on the play that it was an incomplete pass.
There you go.
So we do have a challenge by the San Diego Chargers.
Now, obviously they didn't say he was bobbling it. Now we'll see. Now this should be the angle right here. He pulls it in, foot down, drags the other.
That's a catch.
Oh my gosh, that's a catch. Move the ball. It's a great challenge by Mike Riley. And when we saw it up here, it's
a catch.
I don't know what they're looking at. Foot down.
Foot down.
Foot drag.
You can see the dirt kick up.
You know it was down. Right there. He drug his foot. Watch his feet. Now, the left foot comes down, and he'll drag the right toe. That's a very
What a great second look.
That's a very common technique by wide receivers in the NFL. Unlike college, you got to have both feet down, so they've learned that very early in training camp as rookies. When you get that first foot down, just make your other leg as long as it can be with your toe and just get it down somehow. That's a catch.
I don't see how it could not be. There was no bobbling of the ball. That's the key thing, Steve.
Mike, and I'll bet Mike Shanahan already knows it. I mean, he's already looking at something else. But right here, you see as Jeff Graham catches the ball. You can see from any angle that ball's not bobbled at all.
You can see the dirt kicked up by the right foot also.
The dirt kicked up right there. I mean, there's no question. Come on, Johnny, get out of the hood. Let's go. And Ryan Leaf's got to feel good. I mean, they are playing extremely well. Just minutes ago, at one point in this game, they had 152 yards of offense, did San Diego, and Denver only has 40.
The amazing thing about the Chargers, when you get around the league, everybody in San Diego obviously bitterly disappointed in the way the team's record has turned out, but you get nothing but praise from other teams around the league about it. If it wasn't for the turnovers, these guys would be in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And this is a team defensively for the Chargers. And I said a few moments ago, they're playing as good as anybody. I mean, absolutely anybody.
Like Mike Shanahan said, they got a few standouts on defense, like Junior Seau and Rodney Harrison, who incidentally is out right now, having a hamstring, tight hamstring looked at.
Yeah,
but he said the other guys don't jump out at you, but he said together they play so well, which certainly is a tribute to Joe Pascal and the defensive coaches.
Yeah, you saw me a moment ago tell Johnny Greer to get his head out of the hood there. That's what I was talking about right there. Well, I mean, we all see it right here. There's the catch. There's the foot. There's the drag. Move the ball. Now he's probably, you know what he's probably looking at now is making sure he's got the spot.
The play stance is called on the field.
What?
We have an incomplete pass.
That's a mistake.
Third down. San Diego is charged with the timeout.
Are you kidding me? What was he looking at?
You could see dirt kicked up by both feet inbounds.
Look at, I don't care what angle you look at it with. He catches this ball like he spears it. That ball doesn't move. It's not bobbled. He pulls it in. He has both feet down. That's inconclusive, indisputable evidence. So San Diego, I'd be hopping mad right now if I'm San Diego.
A couple of difficult calls against the Chargers, and now Ryan Leaf sets up under the center as the Rocky Mountain Thunder starts to roll down. Here's Ryan Leaf on the run, heading for the sideline. Leaf gets down inside the 45-yard line and down close to the 40, but he's gonna, let's see, he's got an 8-yard gain on the play. He needed to get down to the 42.
Yeah, it's not going to be a first down, but it is going to be close, and Mike Riley went for it on 4th down and got it once today. Maybe he'll do it again. No, he's not going to. They're going to punt the ball. And that is a drive that should still be going right now. San Diego was absolutely positively the victim on that play.
So in all fairness, there have been 2 huge official calls. One, when it appeared from the replay that Ed McCaffrey did not make the first down on the catch in 3rd and 16. The spot gave it to him. And there, when it appeared from the television replay that the catch was made for a first down, it was denied, incomplete. So now the Chargers punt the ball. Broncos down by 3. Here's Delta O'Neal. Great special teams plays. The ball's down to the 1-yard line. 43-yard punt, but more importantly, no return as Scott Turner got down to down the ball. Don Craigie with Steve Tasker back at Mile High Stadium. The Chargers leading the Broncos 10-7 with, as you see, 9:48 to play in the first half. Now the Broncos with the long field to go after the punt was down at the 1-yard line. They have 1st and 10 at their 1. Rodney Harrison out of the game right now, perhaps the second best player on the Chargers team behind Junior Seau. From the end zone, Farrat swings it out. Nice connection. Rod Smith sprints out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, gets out to the 9. Gain of 8 yards on the play.
This is the replay that was reviewed. Now, what they said was that he bobbled this ball after he landed. Now, there's the catch. We all know what this happened. Now, watch as he hits this and bounces once and bounces again. Then the ball comes out.
But isn't it down by contact?
what the rule is and the way they call it is he has to finish the process of catching the football. That's a new interpretation this year. In that light, that was probably a pretty good call, but I'm telling you what, I don't think it's fair.
Hand up, and going to the run and straight up the middle is Mike Anderson of the Denver Broncos, and he's ahead for a gain of 6 yards on the play. Dumas and Beckett were on the stop.
Mike Anderson is a guy that the Broncos need to play well today. The San Diego Chargers offense for the first time this season has shown up in a big way. And now the Denver Broncos have to show up in a big way offensively, and it starts with that guy. They've got to run the football and hope that San Diego makes the mistake that kills itself.
San Diego dominating in time of possession. Sayout coming on a blitz. Here's the throw near side. McCaffrey putting a move on, dives ahead, and Ed McCaffrey has the first down. Imagine Dan Reeves cut this guy with the Giants. 12-yard gain on the play. The NFL on CBS kicks off the holiday season when Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots take on Charlie Batch and the Detroit Lions at the Silverdome. It all begins with Jim, Randy, Craig, Jerry, Mike, and Marcus on the NFL Today. That's Thanksgiving Day here on CBS Sports.
I can tell you why Dan Reeves cut Ed McCaffrey is because Ed McCaffrey wasn't playing with John Elway and Terrell Davis in New York.
I tell you, the guy keeps going. He's 32 now. He's probably got a few more years, but he's putting up Hall of Fame numbers here in Denver. Here's a long ball and an open receiver. Beautifully done by the Broncos as Farrat lost the long ball, and Rod Smith comes down with it inside the 40-yard line, a gain of 36 yards on the play.
You'll see him just get to the outside, and that's Deron Jenkins on him, and this is just a go route. I'm racing you down the sidelines, and I hope the ball is a great. Watch this. He catches it. The same thing. 1 foot down, drags the toe. And these two guys, Ed McCaffrey and Rod Smith, we've been talking about them. Nobody in the National Football League has caught more passes than these two guys together.
And they're off to a good start today. McCaffrey with 4 catches, 1 for a touchdown. Smith with 3. Farrat again play faking, looking downfield. Instead, he swings it out. This is Anderson. Mike Anderson, who always protects the ball with 2 arms. A very smart player. 27-year-old rookie.
And he took a nice little hit from Orlando Ruff at the end of that play. Gerald Dixon and Orlando Ruff teaming up to make that stop. Mike Anderson is a big guy. If you talk to him, as we have, he's put together. Him and Terrell Davis are built, I think very similar. Big, powerful guys that can run and make people miss, but you got to be big when you're taking hits like that.
Well, he took the hit, got ahead for a gain of 2 yards on the play. Farrat is now 9 of 14 throwing the ball for 104 yards. Chargers look like they were offside as another marker comes in the secondary. Chargers anxious to get the jump after the snap of the ball. Fontenot might have left early.
Yeah, it's an easy call to make for the officials.
One of the things that Mike Shanahan did with Gus Farrat is asked him, what plays do you like?
Offside, 97, defense, still second down.
Calling it on Perella.
You're right, and when Brian Griese was playing, as you see here, John Perella jumping into the neutral zone, he'd ask Brian Griese to throw out the plays he didn't like, and Griese would pick a half dozen. Well, Gus Farrat said, pick the plays you do like.
Handoff straight ahead is 2nd down and 3, and the ball's taken to the 28-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and short.
And that's one of the things that's different about having a backup player in there. It's by the very nature of having your backup in there, the offense is condensed a little bit. And you saw it as Mike Shanahan said, well, we got the same game plan but Gus Farrat picked 25 plays on the list that he really liked. You see there's Mike Shanahan needs a timeout. This is a crucial down on 3rd and short. He wants to make sure, especially with Gus Farrat in there at backup, that they communicate exactly right.
And that is the final timeout of the first half for the Broncos. The clock has stopped with 6:03 to play in the half.
They want to make sure Gus Farrat had the play at his disposal. That's a ball that Rod Smith would catch.
This
and
guy's
right there,
a good player, Steve Beckett.
Yeah, he is.
2nd round draft choice. He was the Chargers' first pick last April. Rookie out of Marshall.
First pick, but he was picked in the 2nd round. The Chargers have a history of trading away their 1st round picks. Everyone since 1994 except the one where they took Ryan Leaf.
Now Ryan Leaf, who has a 68-yard touchdown throw today, goes back to work. Play faking. Stands in. Boy, what an arm. Guess why they get picked that high. Here's a throw to the tight end, Freddie Jones, as Leaf just guns in a fastball for a 21-yard gain.
He gunned it in, but it looked like he just flicked it. And you saw a moment ago, Brian Leaf is the only first-round draft pick that they've taken since 1994. And you see all these picks were traded. Now, some of them were traded for later picks. But I think that's a bad move for an organization to ask your scouting department, your personnel department to come up with guys that can play in the mid to later rounds. It's like picking over used cars.
I'll tell you something, Bobby Beathard made a lot of right decisions during his career, too. Just look at his Super Bowl record. Handoff to Jermaine Frazand, and he takes the ball to the 43-yard line. Got only about a yard. But right now, the Chargers working at their leisure, working the clock. It's down to 5 minutes to go in the half.
I think, you've got a lot of teams around the National Football League who are very good at picking guys. I mean, Jermaine Frazand is one of them, but you need guys that can play. And right now, the Chargers have been in the rut of picking guys that they think can play, but nobody else does. They're kind of gambling on every pick in the later rounds. When you get in the first round, those guys can play physically.
Second down. A long 9. Here comes the blitz. Again, it's picked up. Leaf stands in. Now he's got an open track on the run. Brian Leaf gets out of bounds.
He's galloping.
He is playing with a very iffy hamstring. That knocked him out of the game last week. You don't want to see the big guy, the Chargers don't extending too much.
You can tell he was favoring it. He didn't want to stretch out very much. But he had the blitz on. Watches Romanowski comes on, picked up perfectly by Fazan. And Ryan Leaf comes out. Even Ryan Leaf, who's not that mobile, you see there he starts to gallop a little bit, dragging that leg. And this is what happened last week. He was just doing the exact same thing, runs to his left. And watch here as he goes down right there. You can feel it. And he had to leave the game a week ago as well.
He's got more rushing yards than the Denver Broncos does Ryan Leaf so far today. He's run the ball 3 times for 18 yards. Anderson has only 15 yards.
And you got to think, you're wondering if you're the San Diego Chargers, maybe the fans in San Diego, where has this offense been all year? I mean, this is an offense that Ryan Leaf is playing like an experienced pro. I mean, he's playing like he never has in his career. The guy's consistent. He's making plays. He's leading the team down the field and moving the football.
He is that. Ryan Leaf so far is 7 of 12 for 129 yards, 1 touchdown. A 68-yard play to Curtis Conway. Leaf lets it go long. He's got a guy. Graham is out there. He's got the ball. He's in. Another extraordinary play by the Chargers. A 45-yard touchdown pass play. Ray Crockett, the defender. And now the boos start to cascade down, so the emotion of Monday night has been drained down a mile high, and there's concern.
You can say what you want about Ryan Leaf and his inability to make good decisions in the past, but I'll tell you what, when he steps up and throws the ball, he puts it on the money. Watch here. Jeff Graham takes off and just runs the opposite corner of the field. He knows he's open.
This is some
Jenkins
catch.
and Crockett try and get there. Can't get there in time. Stays with it on the sidelines. That makes Ryan Leaf look really good when you've got a couple of receivers making plays like that.
Ryan Leaf's passing numbers, Steve, make him look really good. 8 of 13 for 167 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Big touchdowns.
68 was the first one to Conway. Carney right foots the ball through the uprights, and now the underdog Chargers, winless in the new millennium, have built a 17-7 lead on the Broncos. And all of Mike Shanahan's concerns are being realized. He knew his team was going to be up against it today. This San Diego Charger team is ready to win.
Well, there's a lot of things that pointed to this happening. There's been 2 0-10 teams in the National Football League in the last couple of decades. Both those teams won their 11th game. Well, this is the San Diego Chargers' 11th game, and they think they're due for it now. Ryan Leaf drops back. You watch him step up. He has no room to step up in the pocket on the throw. He just kind of steps sideways and flips it. Right on the money. Look at that. Over the top. Fantastic play.
Jim Sacamano of the Broncos was telling us yesterday there was a day when the Chargers came in here with a 1-10 record. The Broncos were 10-1. Everybody talked all week about we can't look past these guys. We're going to be ready. And didn't they get sandbagged by the Chargers?
One of the things you mentioned, too, this is a stadium that is absolutely noisy. And we were joking that the fans might be emotionally drained from that Monday night game as well. I mean, they're not as loud. Now the Chargers have taken the crowd completely out of it. And now the emotion is not even there for the team nor the fans.
Well, let me tell you, these Broncos, if there's something they know, it's how to win games. This is a long way from over as Carney kicks off. Hits the ball downfield. Delta O'Neal shrugs his shoulders and off he goes. For the 20 and out to the 22-yard line. Hard hit made on special teams by Dion Humphrey. Friday, it's a special holiday edition of the Home Depot College Football. Then Saturday, it's doubleheader action when Georgia Tech, a red-hot team, battles Georgia, and Boston College takes on Miami. It's all Thanksgiving weekend on CBS Sports. 16 years ago when Doug Flutie threw that long ball, 48 yards, for the winning touchdown against Miami at the Orange Bowl. Now Miami going for the national championship.
This is a great time in college football, I'll tell you that. When the snow flies, it gets the playoff time in NFL, and the college football gets even more interesting, too.
Now an open set, open backfield, and the Chargers are going to blitz it. Barat stands in. There's the rush. He eludes one guy, makes a throw, and it's incomplete. The hit comes in just as the ball arrived. The intended receiver on the play was Travis McGriff.
You see there, the Chargers just sent 3 people on the rush, and when Gus Frerotte dropped back to pass, there were 8 guys back there covering his receivers, and there was just nowhere to throw it.
John Perella, your former teammate with the Bills, is the guy who really forced that bad pass.
Well, that's the key. If a defense can get a pass rush with the fewest amount of people possible, it just gives them so much freedom defensively, because then they can spread their coverage out, double team the people they want. It just makes it so easy.
Broncos down by 10. Barat again stands in. Here comes the rush, and bam, he is hit hard. Neil Smith. And there's a penalty marker down. A former Denver Bronco, Neil Smith, is an all-pro with Kansas City twice. He comes in and makes a big sack. He left no doubt about that hit.
Oh, boy, he planted it. That was it. Look at him. You see him smiling. You love that as a defensive lineman. He got a really good hit on the quarterback. And this flag came in very late from the secondary. Might have been illegal contact or something like that.
Johnny Greer's mic not working there. But the signal, as you point out, Steve, is a penalty, a personal foul call against the San Diego Chargers.
It was holding on number 23, yeah. And you see, that's why, that may be the reason. That's what you see there. That's the reason the Broncos couldn't throw that. They'll say that the receiver intended for was being held.
Each team's quarterback has been sacked once. Throw up the middle. Nicely done by Frerotte, standing in against the rush. Gerald Dixon quickly makes the tackle, and the gain is out to the 32-yard line, a gain of 6 yards on the play. And that'll bring up second down in about 5. No huddle offense. Down the field, there is Ed McCaffrey, and he's inside the 40-yard line. McCaffrey at 6'5", running open in the middle of the field. And he's finally down inside the 40 with a gain of 30 yards on the play. So the Broncos challenging with 2 minutes to play in the first half. Lead, Broncos driving, 2 minutes to go in the first half. Coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. Join Jim, Mike, and Randy for all the scores and highlights, plus all the latest NFL news. It's all coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. Brian Griese on the sidelines. A shoulder injury will keep him out a minimum of 4 weeks. One of the highest rated passers in the NFL. But he did come back in despite the injury to win a most important game on Monday night against the Raiders. Gus Frerotte, his backup in there, rushes on. Frerotte takes a look, throws. Frerotte playing very well, very much under control. Searching out the open receiver, Rod Smith, for an 8-yard gain.
You have to wonder if Gus Frerotte is running the hurry-up offense, how much experience he has doing it in this offense. Probably not much. Brian Griese probably got most of the snaps.
No timeouts left for the Broncos. Here's another throw, another catch, and Smith gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:36 to play. Catching the ball on Deron Jenkins. That was a 6-yard gain.
I think one of the things you'd normally see out of the San Diego defense in this area would be a blitz. They'd send extra people, but you've got Rodney Harris is out of the game, and their cornerbacks, Fakir Brown and Deron Jenkins, have been picked on, and they won't hold up in one-on-one coverage very much. I think that took them out of their blitz package down close.
As we know, pass defense starts with pass rush. Chargers now going to run with a 3-man defensive line. It looks like Seau's ready to blitz. He is. And a penalty marker stops play.
False start, number 88, Offense.
Tight end
Still
Desmond
first down.
Clark left early, a false start.
You hear so much about Junior Seau on this defense, but Rodney Harris is a guy in the defensive backfield who is also considered one of the best at what he does. He's not in there. He's out with an injured hamstring, probably will not return, and that takes them out of a few things that they feel comfortable doing defensively, and that really becomes evident down close in this area of the field.
Farrat, though, I think overall is playing a very solid game as Farrat now takes a look. He's intercepted just as we say it. He's picked off. And on the run, Farrat has a shot at him. He won't get him. This is Scott Turner going to take it the distance, 75 yards. Man alive. The Broncos now in deep trouble on their home field.
The Broncos showed up physically ready to play. They showed up mentally ready to play. They did not show up emotionally ready to play this team. Just as Don said it, you see here, Farrat was playing a solid game. This is just a play where it was a gamble. Scott Turner just steps up, steps in front of the receiver, and Gus Farrat had no chance. Scott Turner is outrunning everybody.
I'll tell you one thing, there's not a quarterback around that can outrun a cornerback.
Not that one.
Quarterback chasing cornerback. You know who wins that? And that was Scott Turner, 75 yards. And now Carney putting up yet another extra point. And this stunner now reads Chargers 24, Broncos 7. Scott Turner, 6-year veteran from Illinois with one of his finest NFL moments as the winless Chargers not only are winning today, they're winning big.
They are absolutely, they smell blood in the water. They're starting to get a little confidence. They're playing like they believe they could have played all year, and they're loving it. They're reveling in it right now.
Well, the one thing about the Chargers, Steve, as we talk to people around the league, nobody wants to play them. Nobody wants to be near them.
It's because of their defense. You can't really run off and leave them. Even if you're playing well offensively, you're not going to score as many points as you do normally. And if your defense gives up 1 or 2 big plays, as this Denver defense has done today, you could lose a football game to this team.
San Diego with the last rate. Look at the Broncos today, -1 in turnovers. And that -1 was the last one. Put him in the hole and put him in the hole by 7 more points.
As you play a season, you start to get, there's starting to be things you can depend on, and the Broncos depend on that turnover ratio. Well, today the San Diego Chargers have taken away something that the Broncos were counting on.
Last rated deep offense in the NFL, that of the Chargers, and the Chargers have scored 21 points in the second quarter, 7 of those points by their defense a moment ago. Tackle made by Orlando Ruff on the return by Delta O'Neal. As you see, is the turnover ratio. A very good indicator of who's going to win.
Denver almost the best. San Diego obviously dead last. And today, that's the difference. I mean, San Diego in all of their games, turnovers have been their nemesis. That has been the one thing that has killed them. And Mike Shanahan knows that. I mean, you throw interceptions when you're going in for a score. That's a huge turnaround. That's at least a 10-point turnaround because of the missed field goal that you didn't get an opportunity to kick. Plus, you give them a touchdown.
Now, Mike Shanahan, who really wanted to get into a control running game, keep their offense off. Here's the throw to McCaffrey, and he's not done. McCaffrey sensationally breaks the tackle and gets all the way down inside the 35-yard line with still 1:08 left to play. An absolutely monumental play by McCaffrey, a 41-yard gain.
Well, some of the Chargers felt Ed McCaffrey was down when he caught the ball. Watch as he comes in, he'll just run a little turn in right inside Seau. He'll hit the ground, fall down. And right there you saw Mike Dumas thinks he touched him when he was on the ground. Ed McCaffrey, the smart thing, get up and run, make him blow the whistle. They didn't, and Gerald Dixon ends up running him out of bounds 41 yards later.
We talked about how the Broncos wanted to run the ball primarily, but today they've run the ball just 6 times. They've been forced to throw the ball 23 times.
And right now they're going to, Mike Dumas is out on the field yelling at the officials saying, hey, I touched that guy. And now I think they might get a challenge to the fact that he actually was touched when he was down.
Boy, Dumas is really exercised out there. Johnny Greer is going to talk now to his head linesman, see what he saw.
Did anybody see Ed McCaffrey get touched when he was down? This comes down from upstairs, obviously. the officials upstairs want to see that play again.
We know he was down, and he quickly got up.
Yeah. The question is, did he get up before Mike Dumas touched him, or was he still down? Now watch this. This is the angle.
He's down.
He's down. Now you can't see Mike Dumas come into the picture.
There's no irrefutable evidence there.
No, there's not.
Play stands as called.
There's no, and I don't think there is from this angle as well. And he's down.
Oh,
you can't see where Mike Dumas touches him. I mean, is his knee off the ground?
I think his knee was off the ground. I think it's a good call.
It might be. Now this might be the angle right here. Down. Touch. I don't know. It's hard to see if Dumas touched him on the back, or I don't think they're going to have any. Oh, that's very close. He got him. He tagged him right on the behind.
That's how hard it is to call these games, and we can look at it in super slow motion 10 times and not be sure.
Well, that's the angle right there.
These
the high
guys
end
get
zone.
One quick look. That's why the replay is such
down.
a good thing.
I think he's down from that angle. We can see that one again. I have to see it again too. I mean, it happens so fast, even in slow motion.
He's down.
Watch the knee.
I think he's up. I think it was a good play. I think it's a good call.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go with the defender because, well, let's see. I think he's down. I think he's down. We'll see. Wow, that is so bang bang.
After reviewing the play stance is called on the field. The runner was not touched until he went out of bounds. First down.
Okay. I got to live with that one. Hey, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. You like to have an opinion, but.
Well, you spent 13 years being out there, so.
I'll tell you what, though, if I was out there, it wouldn't stop me from bemoaning it. I'd be in the official's face anyway.
Well, let's see what Farad can do now. Is he going to be gun shy after that pick he threw for the interception return? Here's the ball to the end zone. Through the hands of Rod Smith. Deron Jenkins went high for the ball and couldn't break it up. It came in too high, and that brings up second down at the 32.
To me, this is the benefit of having Gus Farad as a backup, a guy who started in the league for 50 games. He's got the confidence to make that throw. That is a tough throw. You got to have some confidence to put the ball down there. He thinks he's got it. Almost did, but that's a throw from a confident guy. I mean, he just threw the pick, but that's a good sign, I think, for this offense. Gus Farad's not going to lay down after that bad pick. He's going to come back.
These first half numbers for Ed McCaffrey: 6 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Farad stands in, running out of time, sidearms the ball nicely, and gets it out to his tight end Byron Chamberlain, who's out of bounds inside the 25. 9-yard gain down to the 21-yard line. Looks like a first down.
Going to be a first down. And it seems like the Chargers were just in this position a few moments ago, and they were.
Joined us late. The score is not a mistake. The San Diego Chargers on 2 long touchdown passes by Ryan Leaf. 1 to Conway, 1 to Graham. And an interception return for a touchdown by Scott Turner that built this lead. Fastball. Sprout's got a nice arm. Not accurate on that throw.
Yeah, he missed that throw.
The most underrated quality in quarterbacks everybody talks about is arm strength. It's the most overrated. The most underrated is accuracy. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I think that you're right. Underrated is accuracy. You got to put the ball right where it needs to be. And offenses can be built around your abilities with the ball, but they can't overcome inaccuracy as a passer.
Mike Shanahan telling us yesterday when he coached Joe Montana, he said Montana would actually be upset with himself when the ball would be 8 inches different from where he wanted, even on a completion. He did not have a super arm, Joe Montana. Here's a drop as Chamberlain started to run before he caught the ball. But still 47 seconds remain, so the Broncos have a lot of shots at the end zone.
It's drops like that that make a team feel like it wasn't quite ready to play. You're not sharp. This is a play that is easy to make. It's that's a catch that they'll make 100 times in practice. Little things like that kill drives make you think that the short week really hurt this team.
Well, Chamberlain, as you know, Steve, had some big plays on Monday night. He was a key factor in the win. Gus Farad sets his team on 3rd down and 10. Takes a look, dumps it off. And on the run, Mike Anderson, and he's down inside the 10-yard line and down close to the 5, to the 9-yard line. He has a first down, a 12-yard gain, and he stops the clock.
Gus Frerotte drops back, and this play looks like it has no chance. You'll see there, Neil Smith thinks he knows it's coming. Then Junior Seau's out there. He can't make the tackle. Then Mike Anderson makes a guy blow a tackle, and they get the first down. That's a great offense. A couple of guys, first the quarterback making a cool throw, and then Mike Anderson making a nice run.
Now Junior Seau calls for a timeout by the Charger defense. And you see this time and again, a team goes into a prevent defense. Three-man rush, they get killed by it.
Yeah, I think once again you see the obvious that they're only rushing 3 guys on the pass rush, and Gus Frerotte has a lot of time. And one of the things they wanted to do was rattle Gus Frerotte. He's a backup. They wanted to make him make some decisions and do some things without having time to think about him. They're not doing that on this drive.
Friday, Christy Yamaguchi and her friends from the world of skating, including Scott Hamilton, Brian Boitano, Kurt Browning, and Katarina Godieva, join with musical stars Martina McBride and Roberta Flack when Honda presents Christy Yamaguchi's A Golden Moment in a special charity event benefiting breast cancer awareness. So the Chargers use their second of 3 timeouts. The Broncos have long been out of timeouts. Frerotte has now thrown 27 times, 217 yards. All first half numbers. 1 touchdown, a 1-yarder to Ed McCaffrey. 2 interceptions, and one of those was indeed a touchdown pass, but to the wrong side. Scott Turner of the Chargers running it back 75 yards for the touchdown. First and goal. Frerotte with time again, lobbing the ball. Not close to a completion, as Deron Jenkins was actually the closest to the ball. It'll be second down and goal.
Yeah, he threw it away, and that's what happens. Now, they were having good success throwing the football with a 3-man rush against them because Gus Frerotte had plenty of time to throw the football, but now there's no place for the receivers to run open. The field has shrunken to such an extent that the 8 guys dropping off for the Chargers can cover everybody.
Right now they'll have 4 wide receivers to cover. Open backfield. Frerotte, quick drop, fires it, end over end ball, was up for interception. It's incomplete, and that brings up third down as the ball was tipped at the line. Looked like big John Perella got a hand on it. A bear of a man who's been a very consistent player in his 8th year from Nebraska.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that doesn't stand out too much. He does all the things. He's a great run stopper, which those guys never get much credit. But he's a guy that when he was not in there, they missed him dearly. He soaks up a lot of blockers, lets guys like Junior Seau run to the football and make tackles. You know, they've got to double team him all the time because his motor keeps him in the play.
Got that motor revved up now as they put the pass rush on. Third down and goal for the Denver Broncos. A fastball that's broken up. Coming out of nowhere to break it up was Mike Toomas. Just shot into the picture and got a hand on it.
He's still upset that they didn't give him the tackle on Ed McCaffrey. But he breaks on this ball right at the goal line. He doesn't retreat at all, jumps on it, and almost picks it off. If it would have been a little less, he would have had a chance. You see, Mike Riley knows that's not too much. He knows that they're still down there, still going for points, but that's a good stand by his defense in the last minute of the first half.
Now Jason Elam out to try a 26-yard field goal. Temperature about 40 degrees, sunny, but as you see the field now getting enshrouded in the sun starts to drop, and the temperature will also. Jason Elam hits his 14th field goal in 17 tries this season. He had, of course, the overtime game winner at the end of regulation against the Denver Broncos. John Elway led the Broncos back for his 7th career fourth-quarter comeback to set up Rich Carlos's game-tying field goal, sending it to overtime. In overtime, Lewis Wright picked up the blocked field goal and ran it back for the game-winning touchdown. The Broncos would win this game on the Louis Wright return 30-24 in overtime.
I grew up just over the border in Kansas, and I remember as a rookie in 1985, we practiced with the Houston Oilers, came up to visit the Denver Broncos to scrimmage them, and I stepped on the field, and a guy stepped out there, and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's Louis Wright." I couldn't believe I was on the same field with him.
Louis was a terrific player. I think he's coaching high school football in the area.
Yeah, there's a lot of great players on the Ring of Honor in this stadium, and this stadium deserves a Ring of Honor. It's a historic spot in the National Football League. It's going to be tough to say goodbye to it.
But the new stadium, which is right next to it, even bigger and better, but not the history. Kickoff hit downfield by Lindsey, and here comes Kenny Bynum, and he'll take it across the 20. Bynum working to get to the sideline. He's out of bounds at the 22. So Ryan Leaf and the Charger offense will have 17 seconds to work with. Jason Elam smiling, but you check that scoreboard closely, Jason. Even with your 200th career field goal, you're down 24-10.
Yeah, but that's a nice little milestone. But you know what? And you hear it all the time. You'd love to do that, get that milestone in a win. And right now, it's going to be tough because this San Diego defense is tough to come back on.
Chargers will not risk an interception throwing the ball. They'll take their 14-point lead to the locker room. And so a big surprise at the halfway point of this game. That's the end of the first half with the score: the San Diego Chargers 24, the Denver Broncos 10. We'll send you back to Jim Nantz in New York right after.
The scoring was done by the Chargers. You watch here is right down the middle of the field. Curtis Conway makes this play and then makes a spectacular run. This really set the Chargers off in the first half. Not only did he set up and get their first touchdown, this is what gave Ryan Leaf a lot of confidence to make throws like this to Jeff Graham, who makes a spectacular catch, stays in for the pylon. That's the kind of plays that the Charger have needed all year, and you see here the halftime stats as they pop up. Complete domination by the Chargers. I mean, they have played extremely well.
Chargers leading in time of possession, but most importantly leading on the scoreboard 24-10. It's Ryan Leaf hitting those 2 long touchdown throws, and another sensational play, a interception and subsequent return for a touchdown, 75 yards by cornerback Scott Turner. So Ryan Leaf, who told us yesterday that he likes playing in cold weather, the temperature's starting to drop now, had his great success at Washington State playing in a lot of cold weather days. The Broncos will have the ball to start the third quarter. Delta O'Neal is the deep man for the Broncos. From the 6, he heads down and out across the 20. Gets a block. Delta O'Neal, as a penalty marker's fired in, is taken down at about the 36-yard line. And so the penalty after a 29-yard return probably will set the Broncos back. Tackle made on the play by Taylor. Shannon Taylor.
Number 48 of the receiving team during the return.
An illegal block made by number 48, George Coghill.
As the Broncos take the field here in the second half, one of the statistics we didn't show you was that they've passed the ball 31 times and only run 6 times. You see there the block right there at the point of attack as Terrell Fletcher gets hit in the back. But this Denver team threw the ball 84% of the time in the first half.
Handoff, and Anderson, as he always does, both arms on the ball, takes it off tackle and is taken down by the defensive ends, Fontenot and McKell. Quarterback comparison in the first half. They both put it up a lot. Look at that, Farrat with 30 first half attempts.
That's a lot of throws, an awful lot of throws. And that, you know, you can see the 217 yards, that's indicative of it, but he needs to complete a bigger percentage.
Throw over the middle, a short gain out to the 20-yard line. Night will be falling before long. And it was a bright sunny day now, starting to get to be a very cool one. Temperature probably in the high 30s at this point. Monday night when the Broncos won here over the Raiders, the chill factor's down around 0 by the fourth quarter.
It won't be that cold today, but it will affect the way the players act on the sidelines. They'll have to stay warm and they'll spend more time being active. You see there, that's the play differential, run pass.
Just 7 runs for the Broncos, 32 throws. Here's the 33rd. To maybe the surest handed receiver in the game. Ed McCaffrey makes the catch. A gain of 5 yards on the play. Ed McCaffrey continues to build his phenomenal numbers. He's now caught 7 for 117 yards.
Yeah, he had to get to the 25. You see there, just over the line and back. And they gave him the first down. It was a good spot. Tough physical catch. You see there shaking the cobwebs out as he comes off the football field. Already had a sensational day.
In his 4th year with the Broncos, closing in on 350 catches as a Bronco, as the ball is now taken straight ahead on first down. Gain is out to about the 27-yard line.
The Broncos, you have to feel like they went in halftime and said, we only ran the ball 6 times. We got to get Mike Anderson involved.
Mike Anderson has carried the ball now 8 times in the game for just 20 yards. Blitz, and Farrat free with the ball, and the San Diego Chargers have it at the Denver 20-yard line. So coming unimpeded on a blitz was Darrell Lewis, number 26. And that really stunned Gus Frerotte. A blindside shot, recovery by Gerald Dixon. We could see the rookie from Notre Dame, Jarius Jackson, coming in.
Gus Frerotte never saw it coming. Watch as he comes in. Darrell Lewis, bang. The ball pops right out. He had no idea he was coming. And that's a turnover. Huge play here early in the third quarter for the Chargers on the first series. He doesn't seem to be all right.
Hit hard.
Yeah, that was a tough hit.
Helmet-to-helmet blow, so we'll see how Gus is on the sidelines. In the meantime, the Chargers start out in the second half in the red zone. Fumble by the center snap to Ryan Leaf, and he recovers. But it will be second down and 11 now at the 21.
That little problem right there has plagued the Chargers since opening day. I mean, they've done that all year. And one of the things now, you see that Gus Frerotte still trying to shake the cobwebs out. Jarius Jackson is the next guy in. I mean, this is a guy, a rookie out of Notre Dame, trying to step in and win a football game, maybe.
One thing Jackson can do better than any quarterback on either side in this game is run with the ball. But he's untested in the NFL. Leaf stands in, a beautifully thrown ball. Another of those tight spirals over the middle. You can see these Broncos are pumped, looking to get that ball back, but there's an 8-yard gain to tight end Freddie Jones.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Freddie Jones, I go down. I mean, Freddie Jones just caught the ball and tried to plow ahead, and every guy on the defense took a little shot at him as he stood there. Watch as this ball's completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That ball draws a lot of violence, Don.
Big story now is Gus Frerotte come back in and rally his team. In the meantime, Ryan Leaf and the Chargers have third down and 3. Tip ball, good defense. Dropping back in pass coverage was the middle linebacker. Outside linebacker John Mobley looked like he had a hand on it.
That ball just went right through Freddie Jones's hands. Ryan Leaf just put a little too much on it. And in that situation, the strength of his arm betrayed him because it was just too strong for Freddie Jones to pull in.
So that brings up fourth down and a 31-yard field goal attempt by John Carney. 1 for 1 in the game. Carney drives it up and through. And so off the turnover, the Chargers build their lead now to 27-10 with 11:25 to play in the third quarter. So Ryan Leaf's had some big moments today. And so
descriptions or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
The field goal has now put the Chargers up by a count of 27-10. On the sideline, Gus Frerotte. Field goal set up when Frerotte fumbled after an absolutely stunning hit, helmet to helmet. Freed the ball. He looks to be okay. He was talking with his coach, and I think he's going to come out back out and quarterback the team. Delta O'Neal turns it wide and gets out of bounds across the 25-yard line. So here comes the Bronco offense. Their work cut out. Guys start up after the play.
There's a big fight over on the Chargers sideline. And the flag came in very early, actually. That's Tony Darden right there, who is mixed up in it. Along with Eric Brown, the safety. It's the only time those two guys face each other. Oh, now it's going against the Broncos. 2 penalties on 2 pretty good returns by Delta O'Neal is going to cost the Broncos field position.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 82 of the receiving team.
Billy Miller.
Billy, the 4th tight end. They have 4 tight ends active to the Denver Broncos. Now they're set back inside their 15-yard line.
And here's the play, as you'll watch here. Out of bounds. I don't know if it's a little spit spat going there.
Big John Perella got a paw in there. He took a swipe. You want to stay away from John when they
put your helmet on before you do that.
First charge flying. Here is a first down play. Frerotte stands in, fires the ball, caught, Markers fired down in the backfield of the Broncos. If the play goes, it's good for 16 yards and a first down. Rod Smith makes the catch.
An illegal block below the waist. Might have been a chop block.
Personal foul, chop block, number 66, offense. Still first down.
Tom Nail in the center, one of the best, called for the chop block.
What happens on a chop block is the offensive lineman will engage a defensive lineman, and then the offensive lineman's buddy will come in and hit the defensive lineman low. So they kind of 1-2 the guy, and that's illegal.
Mike Anderson, the lone setback. He gets the ball, coming straight up the middle, and Junior Seau gets him, rides him down at about the 9-yard line. That brings up second down and long, second down and about 15.
Penalties are killing the Denver Broncos early in the third quarter, both on the return game and now in the offensive backfield. This is a team now that seems to be wobbling a little bit, and I think the San Diego Chargers have put the Denver Broncos in a hole mentally. And these guys didn't expect the Chargers to play like this.
No, they wanted to control the ball, running the ball at San Diego. Both teams have been penalized 6 times in the game. Farrat on second and long, takes a look, swings it out nicely to McCaffrey. Breaks a tackle, and McCaffrey, who has been clearly the best player in the Broncos team this day, is knocked out of bounds after a 14-yard gain.
He's not going to get up.
He took a hard shot just as he was going out of bounds. Looked like Rogers Beckett got low and leverage tackled him.
Yeah, the point of this is he makes one guy miss there. Mike Dumas misses that tackle. Junior Seau can't get enough of him to push him out. Bang, right there. You see the whiplash effect, and sometimes that's what it does.
So Ed McCaffrey's attended to.
There are drivers.
Good news, Ed McCaffrey's up, came off under his own power, should return to the game shortly. In the meantime, Travis McGriff comes in. Farrat stands in, fires hard over the middle, a well-thrown ball to his tight end, Dwayne Carswell. A 10-yard gain on the play. Looks like it's enough for a first down. Let's watch where McCaffrey was hit, Steve, on the previous play.
You know what happens is the dangerous thing is when he comes off the sideline, watch here as his head gets pushed downward. That's the dangerous part of that hit. And he did get up and walk off, but that's always very scary when the player's head goes forward instead of backwards. And for every guy, this is Lisa McCaffrey, his wife, who actually has the booth next to us.
Running straight up the middle is Mike Anderson inside the 40. And they finally get him on the ground inside the 30-yard line as he rides 2 tacklers 20 yards down the field to complete a 34-yard run. And the Broncos are challenging. McCaffrey goes back in the game.
That's what they needed from Mike Anderson. They needed a big play. They needed a solid run game with Terrell Davis out of the lineup, and you knew sooner or later he was going to break one. They were going to stick with it, give him a chance in the third quarter. They've struggled offensively. You don't always get your big plays or your momentum in the big passing plays. Sometimes you get them in the run game just by sticking with it.
First down and 10 Broncos, who have to rally down on their home field. Farrat stands in, swings the ball, and drilled in for an incomplete pass. This Dixon, Gerald Dixon, a big linebacker, got the beat on Mike Anderson and really leveled him.
Yeah, Gerald Dixon is a guy who's this year is now playing 3 downs of football instead of just third down. Lou Bush is gone from this Charger defense, and Gerald Dixon has been asked to step up and play every down, and he's done an extremely good job, as you can see there, covering Mike Anderson out of the backfield.
Farrat really working that right arm today, Steve. He's completed 20 of 35 for 250 yards. 1 touchdown to McCaffrey, 2 interceptions. One of them returned 75 yards by Scott Turner for a touchdown. On second down, Farrat eludes the rush, but only 1 rusher. The second one sweeps it under. Al Fontenot gets him for the sack back at the 36-yard line. The second sack today for the Charger defense.
This is a coverage sack. Gus Farrat tries to do it, and that'll make you not throw it, getting a hand in your face. And if you want to rattle a quarterback, that's the way you do it. Come right up in his lap and whack him right in the face.
Well, he's been rattled even more by that blindside blitz that almost knocked him out of the game. Darrell Lewis getting him. Mike Anderson, the lone setback now. 3 wide receivers in the game. 3rd down, and the Broncos need 15. Barak triggers a nice throw. Smith has it. And he's taken down at the 23-yard line, short of the 1st down, did gain 12. And the field goal unit comes back out with the Broncos trailing the Chargers 27-10 here in the 3rd quarter.
The Chargers are perfectly willing to back up and give him the short route, come up and make the tackle, concede the 3 points. They lead by 17. That's just the philosophy at that point.
Steve, you played on those Buffalo Super Bowl teams. You had so many times where you played a big Monday night game, had to come back and get emotionally up on a short week, as it must be hard to do.
It's very difficult. They did get a break, though. This is a home game.
Jason Elam, no good. One of the best. Jason Elam, the guy who's maybe the best all-time on over 50-yard attempts, misses the field goal. So the Broncos on that drive draw a blank, and the Chargers take over the ball when we come back. And McCaffrey having a big day, but he's taken a pounding also. McCaffrey has caught the ball 8 times for 131 yards. Now they go with a run blitz. Falls on the field. Looks like the Broncos have it. They do. So the Broncos rise up. Keith Traylor looked like he was on the ball, and they take it right back. Trailing in the game by a 27-10 count.
The Denver Broncos sent everybody except Mike Shanahan right into the backfield. Look at this. Everybody's coming. Look at him.
Ray Crockett comes in.
Jermaine Fazan has no place to go. He's hit with the football. As soon as he gets it, had no chance to even put it away.
Ray Crockett, who actually freed the ball, number 39. So the Denver Broncos right back with ended up missing the field goal not that long ago. Anderson driving down inside the 20 and down to the 17-yard line. Teron Jenkins gets him down short of a touchdown. He was the last line of defense, a 10-yard gain on the play.
Well, the San Diego Chargers have had control of this game emotionally and statistically. They've had time of possession, but now momentum is starting to swing back with that turnover. The Denver Broncos are starting to feel like, hey, we can get something going. Let's get it together, give it to Mike Anderson, and see if we can put some points on the board.
Anderson's run the ball 11 times today, as you see, for 70 yards. The rookie called on Terrell Davis, inactive today, a leg injury, acted up late in the week. They deactivated him before the game. 2nd down and 2. Handoff. Anderson cracks the defensive front of the Chargers and drives the ball down to the 9. A 9-yard gain on the play.
You see, this game gets more emotional there. Mike Riley with his arms crossed. On the other side, the Denver coaches have been warned not to run on the football field anymore. They're starting to crowd, get into it, starting to walk out on the field, yelling things. That's what happens when the game gets on the line.
Get a better look at it.
That's right.
1st down and goal. Broncos down by 17. Anderson, power football off the right side. Blocked by Lepsis and Neal and Nalen. Junior Seau on the tackle, but he drives it down close to the 6-yard line.
One of the things that has happened now in the 3rd quarter, the San Diego defense is starting to get a little bit soft in the run game. They are so difficult to run on normally. Today, the Broncos have waited and waited, softened them up, and now they're pounding it in with Mike Anderson.
Mike Riley telling us yesterday the difference between college and the NFL. Said in college you play a big game every 3 or 4 weeks. In the NFL, you got Florida State every week. Good fake by Farrat, looking at McCaffrey. He goes short, gets his tight end. Touchdown, Dwayne Carswell. And the Broncos on the home field are right back in it, capitalizing on the turnover. Down by 11 with the extra point coming up, a 5-yard touchdown pass.
The Chargers gambled and tried to cross up the blocking schemes. You watch here as they throw the football. Jamal Williams, a defensive tackle, is out in coverage. The gamble didn't work. The pressure did not reach Farrat, and the coverage broke down.
Extra point hit up and good by Elam. So the Broncos, who know how to win games, Shanahan sees his team get back to within 10. A long way to go. The touchdown horse has been on the run. as the Denver Broncos have worked their way back into the game, but they're still down by 10 points. Down 27-10. 5:08 left to play in the third quarter. As Lindsey gets set to kick off. The long-range kickoff man picked up after he was weighed by Jacksonville. Rodney Jenkins breaks it, cross to 30, and gets out to the 35-yard line. And then as he goes down, a penalty marker comes in. 25-yard return on the play, and a marker came in as he hit the turf. Hey, one thing, Steve, these Broncos are hunting the football every down.
They are, and this is a team that knows how to win. You said it.
Holding number 53 of the receiving team during the return.
Now the call is against Deion Humphrey, and the Chargers are set back. It's heating up at Mile High. The plot thickens. 76,000 strong kick in with their support for the Bronco defense. Ryan Leaf trying to change the play. An all-out blitz is going to come at him. Here it comes. Leaf off his back foot, has an open receiver, but he misses him. Jeff Graham just misses that home run ball that he caught earlier in the day as Ryan Leaf against an 8-man rush somehow got the ball away.
At this point, you know Ryan Leaf has got to take this team the distance. This is the spot where Ryan Leaf can make or break his career in San Diego. It was easy for him in the first half, made some great plays, but now the game is on the line, and he's got to help his team win. Right here, he knows he's got it, has the presence of mind to give the quick pump fake and deliver the ball.
He might not miss it the next time. Again, the Denver Broncos jam the front. They're coming with 8 men. 9 men are coming at him. He throws, makes the connection, and it's out to the 29-yard line, short of a first down, but there is a gain of 8 yards on the play, and it will be 3rd down and 2. So Leaf here, Steve, standing very tall under the pressure.
The Broncos are sending 9 guys. You said it. Everybody is going after Ryan Leaf. They're leaving the cornerbacks on an island all by themselves with 80 yards of football field to run free in and expecting Ryan Leaf to make a throw.
They're saying to Ryan Leaf, we don't think you can beat our all-out blitz. Let's see what Leaf and the Chargers can do. 3rd down and 2. Another all-out blitz coming. Leaf tried to take it himself. He fumbles the ball. The Broncos have recovered. Romanowski gets the ball.
The Chargers have noticed that whenever they ask Roman Fortin, their center, to move laterally off the snap, they have trouble making the exchange. And right there you saw everybody was going to be a run to the left, and as Roman Fortin moves, he just doesn't make sure of the exchange, and Ryan Leaf never gets the football.
That is the 4th time today the Chargers have fumbled, but oddly enough, it's only the 1st time they've lost a fumble. The Chargers have turned the ball over twice. Denver's turned it over 3 times. Farrar, open man, swings it out. Mike Anderson with a collision at the 20-yard line. Good for a gain of 8 yards. A thunderous hit put on him.
This is the time when you really miss Rodney Harris, if you're a defender for the Chargers. This is Mike Dumas who takes Harris's place in the secondary at free safety.
2nd down and 1. Broncos down by 10. Handoff. Big stick on Anderson. He's actually knocked back. So he's knocked down at the 21-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Mike Anderson with the carry.
And you think this game is such a game of inches. A few plays ago, Ryan Leaf just misses the wide open receiver on the all-out blitz. It could have been a long touchdown, and yet with the same defensive scheme, the Broncos forced the turnover and give themselves a chance to get back in this game and pull within a touchdown.
And Anderson's been a big factor in the comeback. He has 66 yards in the 3rd quarter. Mike Anderson had only 15 yards in the entire first half. 3rd down and 4. Throw, catch. Griffith has it. 1st down Broncos down to the 15-yard line. Junior Seau gets him down, but Howard Griffith does get the 1st down. He gained 7 yards on the pass reception.
We were talking about it, Don, in the first half, how that fullback is always forgotten. He's in there, he's blocking in the running game, and Mike Anderson is cutting loose a little bit in the running game. Look at the yardage in the second half. The Chargers with 12 in the third quarter. That's the difference. They have not made a first down yet in the third quarter.
That missed short field goal by Jason Elam, looming large, but the Broncos still with a lot of time left to now to come back. Here's a throw and a catch. And going down to the 2-yard line for a first down is the tight end, Dwayne Carswell. First and goal, Broncos at the 2-yard line of the Chargers. A gain of 11 on the play. As the passing numbers are Farad, he's now thrown 40 times, has completed 25 for 295 yards. Gannon threw 50 times, I think, Monday night.
Well, when you think back over the course of the week, they probably knew early that Terrell Davis probably wouldn't be able to play.
First and goal, play fake. To the hands of the fullback, Howard Griffith, coming out of the backfield.
Mike Shanahan probably knew early in the week that Terrell Davis wouldn't play, and he probably thought that the Chargers would think they were going to rely on the running game with a backup quarterback in there. So what's he do? He puts the game plan in with Gus Frerotte throwing the football all over the field. You got to know the Chargers did not expect that type of game plan out of the Broncos today. They needed that touchdown right there, and Mike Shanahan knows it.
Well, they got more chances at it. This is second down and goal from the 2. You know how they respect that Charger defense. They haven't run out of this series yet. Now they do. Anderson down close. He's not going to get in. In fact, he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Adrian Dingle, a second-year defensive end from Clemson. Number 90 came in and got him, along with Seau.
Chargers have one more try to stop the Broncos and hold them off the touchdown. With a minute and a half to go in the third quarter, this game has turned 180 degrees from what it was in the first half. The Broncos came out on fire.
Mike Riley waiting for the breakthrough win in the year 2000. His defense up against it now.
It's a power
third down and goal.
Power formation for the Broncos.
They're going to throw out of the power formation, and now Farrat's in trouble. Throws to the end zone. It might be intercepted. It is. It is intercepted by Fakir Brown, who was victimized last week by Miami. And Fakir Brown goes up and comes down with the ball.
That's the first bad decision Gus Frerodt's made all day, and it cost him a touchdown. It was a late throw. He saw McCaffrey late off to his left side. This was not the side where he was going to throw the ball to begin with. You see him looking to his right. It's not there. He comes back very late to McCaffrey and just asks him to make a play. But it was a bad question.
Great replay. Our director today for CBS Sports is Jim Rickoff. Our producer, Jim Rickoff. Our director, Kathy Barretto. Associate Director, John Coleman. Broadcast Associate, Jonathan Friedman. As right now, it is first and 10 for the San Diego Chargers at the 20. Kazan, he's going nowhere. As the defensive tackle Keith Traylor was the first come through. Also coming through was Kavika Pittman, number 95. So now it's Ryan Leaf throwing down, Steve.
You can tell the Chargers right now just want to collect themselves, get a little bit of success on offense. They have not had it yet this third quarter. They came out and they have just not been able to do anything. The crowd is into it. The Broncos are sending everybody and their backs are against the wall.
Second down and 13. Leaf drops, long ball. He's got a guy. It's going to go the distance. Jeff Graham on another sensational pass play. No flags as Graham sidesteps into the end zone. Ray Crockett is on the field, and Crockett is down. Apparently he got hurt trying to guard him. An 83-yard touchdown pass play. I think they'll keep Ryan Leaf around another week.
When you gamble with a blitz like the Broncos have done this entire quarter, you run the risk of the big play. They got away with one on the first series when Ryan Leaf couldn't make this throw. This time, it's right on the money, and he makes the great throw. Jeff Graham just has to stride it into the end zone, and Ray Crockett is still down on the far sideline for the Broncos. And it all started with that guy right there, Fakir Brown, who's been picked on.
cornerback.
Had some problems in the last couple of weeks with teams hitting. Gave up a huge play on the opening game of the week last week against Miami.
I don't know what happened to Ray Crockett. He was in one-on-one coverage with Jeff Graham. He turned and pivoted to go with him and lost his footing, went down, and he's been down since.
We'll watch it right here. This is Jeff Graham and Crockett right with him, and the ball is in the air right now. Oh, he just popped a knee, or hyperextended a knee, or popped a hamstring or something. He did that. There was no contact. I think either he pulled a hamstring and tried to pull up and locked his knee out, but you could see his steps became very awkward with his legs right as he went down.
Jeff Graham, who had a huge year for the Chicago Bears back in '95 when he caught 82 balls for 1,300+ yards, having a big day today. Jeff Graham has caught 4 passes for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. 4 for 144.
Look at that. That's a nice little scoring drive right there. 2 plays, 80 yards in 51 seconds.
How about Ryan Leaf? He's completed 11 of 18 for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. And that's the 3rd touchdown pass of this day for Leaf. He had only 2 for the season coming in.
Watch, this is him. He makes the throw. No, he got knocked down. Kind of nonchalant. Get up. By this time, the pass has been caught. He's looking. Is there anybody? And he's looking around. Watch, he'll look around for some flags. Won't see any of those.
83 yards later, Jeff Graham is in the end zone with 8 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. And Ray Crockett is still down. Apparently, what you pointed out, Steve, he must have hyperextended something because it wasn't a head injury.
It might have been a combination of things. You know, pull a muscle, and then when he tried to, when the shock of the injury hit him, you know, watch as he strides out. You'll see as his steps, it almost looks as though the classic hamstring pull where he pops up in the air, and then watch as he comes down trying to break and stop. His knee will hyperextend. See right there, and then, you know, it's hard to see what it might have been. It could be anything from his toe to his hip, you know, but it's obvious his left leg is not
he's
exactly
really
what
hurt.
it should be.
Unfortunately, Ray Crockett helped off. The scoring plays of the San Diego Chargers make up a highlight reel for a season. 68-yard pass, 45-yard pass, 75-yard interception return, and now an 83-yard pass, all thrown by Ryan Leaf.
And he throws this ball. He missed one just moments ago early in the 3rd quarter, and Jeff Graham runs this one down, and the moment he caught it, it was all over. And the rest is just a jog down the sidelines.
So Jeff Graham with 2 touchdown catches today. He had only 1 for the season coming in. And of course, that extraordinary touchdown play by Curtis Conway.
Well, they can't ask much more out of Ryan Leaf. They only asked him to throw it 18 times, and he's got 3 touchdowns.
So we met with him last night. He was not a down guy. He was ready to play really well. You could see it in his demeanor. He was so anxious to play this game. He said he had his best week of practice he's ever had at San Diego. Tonight on 60 Minutes, why didn't a cop know before he shot?
3 scores, 17 points, and it turned on 1 play. They had this game. They had the Chargers on the ropes. Their offense was clicking. Everything was going their way. Even though Farrat threw the interception, they still had not let San Diego get a first down in the 2nd half, and yet with the gambling defense going after Ryan Leaf, it cost him the big play and really put this game out of reach at this point.
And I'll tell you now who's going to have a real bad Sunday next week. The Kansas City Chiefs. They play at San Diego. I don't think these guys are turning back the rest of the way.
You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs were wobbling coming into today, and they lost a home game to the Buffalo Bills.
Ball hit downfield. Carney drives it down 2 yards deep in the end zone, and Delta O'Neal brings it out. The rookie breaks it out wide, gets a block. O'Neal across the 30 and out to the 35-yard line. A 37-yard return by rookie Delta O'Neal. And it's 1st and 10. At the end of the 3rd quarter, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Mile high, the Chargers, the underdog, leading the Broncos 34-17. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. 51 points, 700 yards offense, 7 turnovers already, with more to come.
It's never easy with these 2 teams, Don.
Gus Frerotte with a beautiful throw. It's down to the 49-yard line to Rod Smith. Sunday stories. There's been some interesting ones authored today by NFL standouts. Eddie George, 36 rushes despite a bad toe, 143 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Titans win again to go to 9-2.
That's quite a battle there.
In the snow.
In the snow there in Green Bay. Peyton Manning going into Green Bay, losing to Brett Favre.
2-point loss for the Colts. Here's a throw in the flat, but it comes in short of Ed McCaffrey turning out on the play. Sunday stories continue as the NFL starts down the stretch run of the regular season. Rich Gannon at New Orleans, very in control. And again, the Raiders knocked a quarterback out of the game. Elvis Gerback threw it 48 times against the Bills. Didn't help. Bills win the game 21-17. Bledsoe, despite a badly injured thumb, had a big day. 258 yards as the Patriots defeated the Bengals. You can see Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots on Thanksgiving Day on CBS against the Detroit Lions at Pontiac, Michigan. Mike Anderson breaks it. And Anderson not to be denied before he breaks it ahead for 12 yards and a Bronco first down.
I've been in this situation, Don, where you're down in the game late. You still have some confidence. You still want to go out and win every snap. Mike Anderson's running hard. These guys know that stranger things have happened in the NFL than a 17-point lead being blown in the fourth quarter. And the Denver Broncos know they've got the offense that can do that.
But the Broncos playing without their #1 quarterback, Brian Griese, out for 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. Without their top runner, Terrell Davis, out with a leg injury today. Long ball, open receiver, but McCaffrey can't get to it. Frerotte had a wide open man running a post pattern inside the 5-yard line. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to New York into Jim Nantz. Jim?
All right, Don, down in Miami, the Jets get the game's first touchdown. Comes in the fourth quarter. Bernie Parmalee, former Dolphin. How sweet the revenge. Jets up 10 with 6:52 to go. Let's go back to Don and Steve.
Thank you, Jim. A game the Jets had a win. And it was official stoppage of play with 13:50 to go.
There was a late penalty, and they gave
Fakir Brown, I think.
Yeah, the Broncos got a first down out of it at the Charger 31. We just received word that Ray Crockett is out for the day with a hamstring injury.
But the Broncos need every possession to end up in points. Down in the fourth quarter, Frerotte throws. Good catch, good hit. Tackle made at the 28-yard line as the ball was taken in by Byron Chamberlain. Tonight on 60 Minutes, why didn't a cop know? A team that scored back-to-back really sensational wins for the franchise. They were 4-4, went to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, beat the Jets. Very big game. And then after the bye week came back, and they beat the Raiders on Monday night on the final play of the game, the Elam field goal. Now they're way down. Here's a throw. Tip ball. Up for play. It goes incomplete. Karam's off the shoulder pad of Ed McCaffrey, who today has caught 8 for 131 yards.
Well, Gus Frerodte's trying to get the ball to McCaffrey. Missed him on the big post route for the touchdown. Couldn't get the slant route. Threw it a little behind him, and that's 46 attempts. He's never tried that many in a game, but you got to know that was the game plan of the Broncos coming in. I don't think they changed it all that much when San Diego had the good offensive first half, because they weren't out of it by very much. I think
coming in, Gus Frerotte, Steve, had only 39 throws for the whole season. And today he's thrown the ball 46 times already. Frerotte on third down, pump faking, lobs the ball, open is Rod Smith. He's heading in. Touchdown Broncos. 26 yards and a touchdown, and still 13 minutes to play.
Well, we spoke about it a moment ago. These guys know they can score points in bunches. They've got a good offense. If Gus Frerotte can continue to drop back, and I don't think just because of the score that the game plan has changed. I think they came in here knowing Gus Frerotte was going to air it out a lot in this game. And Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey were going to be a big part of this offense, which they have been.
Now the extra point try by Jason Elam to get the Broncos back to within 10. He delivers it. It's a 34-24 game. 13 minutes left to play. The Broncos score, and they'll kick off, and we come back to Mile High Stadium. The wild night now begins to fall as the receiver Rod Smith is in the end zone, culminating a 6-play, 65-yard drive with a 26-yard touchdown catch. And the San Diego Chargers lead is cut again to 10. Steve Lindsay kicks off. A spinning kick comes down to Rodney Jenkins at the 5. Broncos will be going after the ball. Rodney Jenkins is going after the big return, and he gets it out close to the 29-yard line. Tonight on CBS, for nearly 50 years, Hallmark Hall of Fame. What do the San Diego Chargers do? Try to eat some clock up, or
they
just fire away?
They got to make some first downs, and I'll tell you what, if the Denver Broncos come out and gamble as they have in the last few series, the San Diego Chargers have to be ready to answer. Ray Crockett, the starting cornerback, is out, and these two receivers have already made some big plays. It may happen again.
And Fazan powering the ball, the 255-pound fullback from Oklahoma. Drives the ball at the Bronco defense and is taken down by the front 4. Fazan, the guy who rushed for 183 yards against the Broncos in a San Diego victory here at Mile High last December.
And that's a first down play that the Chargers have not been able to put together the entire day. First down, they get 5 yards on a running play off tackle. That's exactly what every offense would love to do, especially in this situation.
See, Fazan, he's minus 3 yards here in the second half. But the right arm of Ryan Leaf has been the big weapon. 3 super long touchdown throws. Leaf drilling the ball in low where the defense can't get it, but neither could his receiver, Jeff Graham. That brings up 3rd down and 5.
It's obvious the Broncos aren't going to gamble like they have in the last few, but now the chess game begins at this point as the Chargers run in Terrell Fletcher and an extra wide receiver. And the Broncos answer with another nickel personnel package as well. The chess game begins with the coordinators, and now Ryan Leaf, with a new personnel package in, has got to make a play.
Chess game, and Ryan Leaf has the move to make now on 3rd down and 5. Nobody in the backfield. The blitzers will be coming. Ryan Leaf takes a look, fires, incomplete. Good defense by Jimmy Spencer. Number 33, Jimmy Spencer, breaks up the play, and the Chargers have to punt the ball.
Well, this is just a quick release pass. I think they were expecting the blitz, and Relief was going to get rid of it right there. Great play by Jimmy Spencer. Had his arm in front of Curtis Conway, wouldn't let the pass be completed, and that's the kind of play they needed.
Now Terrell Buckley's going back to return the punt, the very sure-handed veteran from Florida State.
You can look for the punter, Darren Bennett, to try and kick this as far as he possibly can.
Darren Bennett ready to punt the ball. Hits it high. He booms it. The man from down under booms it high into the night here in Denver. And Terrell Buckley runs into his own guy and is finally taken down at the 16-yard line. And a penalty marker's down. Another skirmish breaks out on the field. Apparently they're picking up the flag, no penalty. So there's a timeout on the field.
Taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
The Denver Broncos looking to mount a run to the playoffs after a 4-4 start this season. Down on their home field by 10 in the 4th quarter. Handoff. Nothing happening for Mike Anderson against this Charger defense. And he spins off, and they'll give him plus yards out to about the 23-yard line, so he got about 3.5. Fontenot finally got him down.
Yeah, the Chargers let up on that play. They thought they had him with progress. Mike Anderson just kept spinning to get the extra few yards. You see there, that's where they're hitting it, right in between the guards. No question about it. He's gotten all his yards right up inside.
Gus Frerotte working at quarterback. 2nd down and 6. Open man, but he overshoots. Gunning the ball at tight end Byron Chamberlain. It is incomplete. That gives us a chance to go back to New York into Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, Don, the Jets are going to defeat the Dolphins for the 2nd time this year. This will all but ice it. Bernie Parmalee, 2nd touchdown of the game. His first 2 touchdowns as a Jet, both coming today against his former team. Let's go back to you.
Boy, that is a big win for Al Grove. Fist pumping. He has reason to pump it.
Nothing better than scoring on your old team.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I tell you, this AFC's tightening up.
Oh man, it's a dogfight.
Buffalo's
right
moving up. Third down arises. Barat in trouble on the run, throws on the run, and the ball is dropped. Then a penalty marker's fired in. Penalty markers down in the Chargers backfield. A holding call is being signaled to see if it's defensive holding. It is defensive holding, an automatic first down.
They're going to call Darrell Lewis for the hold on Rod Smith.
This game still has a long way to go. 10:54 left to play.
Holding on the defense, the right cornerback. It's a first down.
Darrell Lewis walks off. He was the guy that was guarding Rod Smith, and that gives the first down. Those are the things that have kept the San Diego Chargers out of the win column all year. Mistakes late in ball games that deny them the ability to win.
Well, now they have a first down, and they play fake by Farrat, looking long, has an open guy. Rod Smith loses the ball. It's intercepted. The ball is picked off. Deron Jenkins, who was victimized earlier on the run, weaving his way back to the 42-yard line. So Farrat, on a 15-yard return, Farrat has now thrown 4 interceptions.
Rod Smith had that ball in his hands. You don't see that very often. Very unusual. Tipped it up, tried to catch it, right to the defender.
If you're expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS in the game between the Chargers and the Broncos. I'm Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. The Chargers lead the favored Broncos 34-24. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following the game, except on the West Coast and Mountain Time zones. Brian Leaf takes a look. He's in trouble and protects the ball, which has been a problem earlier in the game as Bill Romanowski sacks him.
This is what happened to give the Chargers the ball, the 4th interception of the day for Gus Farrat. Watch here, Rod Smith has it through his hands right into the breadbasket of Deron Jenkins.
And Deron runs it back 15 yards. And now the Chargers, a surprise leader by 10, 34-24 with the ball, 2nd down and 10. To the run, Fazan looks for a crack. Finds a lot of Broncos, but does get ahead for a gain of about 3 yards to the 39-yard line. And he does keep the clock running, which has been a problem. This clock has been stopping regularly, both teams throwing the ball so much.
And you see Ryan Leaf, all they need is a couple of first downs to get them down into field goal range where they can open up their offense. He's had a pretty good day, 11 of 20, been effective. He had the interception very early, but really obviously overcame it with 3 touchdown passes later in the game.
One of the remarkable things about Ryan Leaf, he's 24 years old in his 3rd year in the league. Leaf looks. He's got a guy again. Ryan Leaf makes the connection to Conway, and he fights the defender down to the 8-yard line. And Steve Tasker almost comes out of his chair.
That was an awesome throw.
31 yards.
All day, Ryan Leaf has been dropping back and flipping the ball, lobbing it up. He's had a couple of guys running wide open. He threw the deep post route. This one, he stepped up and threw this thing on a line. Watch this, a pump fake. It's worked before. That ball, he threw up his back foot and put it right in the spot where Conway could get to it. And these receivers, Conway and Graham, have made some plays for Ryan Leaf that have made this game what it is.
And it has been something. First down and goal for the San Diego Chargers. To Fazan. And the Broncos shut him down. In fact, he lost yards. He lost about 2 back to the 10-yard line. Mike Lodish was on the stop along with Al Wilson.
Ryan Leaf, that's 12 for 21, 305 yards and 3 TDs. Obviously, that's the highest in his career. I mean, this is a guy that, you know, if you want to get started on a nice little 6-week run to see if he can play, he just jumped off a nice little springboard today.
And somewhere Bobby Beathard has to be smiling. He's the guy that thought Leaf could be a great one. Just about everybody in the league did. And in the end, he may be proven right. Leaf has been extraordinary today, but he has had trouble with some snaps. He does get this one back. Al Wilson is quickly on him, and the ball is now knocked back to the 15-yard line, but the Chargers do keep the clock running.
Now, this is something that we've seen 3 or 4 times today with Ryan Leaf and the center, Roman Fortin. Now, this is not just Ryan Leaf in there. It has happened with every quarterback that the Chargers have put in there. They've struggled with the snap at any given moment in a number of games. In fact, they lost the Seattle game in Seattle strictly because they turned the ball over like that twice in their own end.
Assignment now for the Bronco defense. Hold them to a field goal. Make it a 13-point game. Leaf looks. He throws in a good breakup. Well defended. Coming over to break up the play as they go to some backup troops was Delta O'Neal. Delta O'Neal has been primarily a kick returner. He is a defensive back, and he's called on now because of the injuries to Crockett. Darryl Pounds is out today.
John Carney steps onto the field for about a 33-yarder, and he struggled coming in. He's had missed 5 of 6 lately, but he's hit everything today.
John Carney has been a great part of the league. So many charitable endeavors, the Lids for Kids. He and some of his teammates shaved their heads. Show of support to some young cancer victims in the San Diego area. Give them all hats. And one of the best kickers from a percentage standpoint who's ever played the game, and he builds the lead now to 37-24 Chargers. So many memories, so many great games here at Mile High Stadium, and some forgettable moments today for the Denver Broncos, allowing 3 sacks, turning the ball over 5 times, leading to 20 Charger points. And their best weapon to mount a comeback, Brian Griese, can do no more than pace the sidelines and watch. Out for 4 weeks with that shoulder injury suffered in the win over the Raiders Monday night. John Carney, who's been perfect kicking field goals, hits a one-hopper downfield. At the 18-yard line, the ball is picked up. Running well with the ball and taking it out now is Deron Smith. So the ball will be
2 touchdowns. And you know they're going to air it out and try and pull this victory out.
Down by 13 points, so 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points could win it, but that's a long way from done. There's a big start on it, though. Ball thrown to Rod Smith, and he works the defensive back down the sideline to the 27-yard line. Rogers Beckett playing a game of trying to defend him like a basketball guard, and beautifully done by Rod Smith.
And you see here Rod Smith just comes wide open on the corner route, and Gus Frerotte finds him, and Rogers Beckett just using the sideline as a defender. He can't give up the big play. That's the one thing he doesn't want to do. Don't let Rod Smith go the distance. Just try and find a way to push him out of bounds. And Rod Smith thinking, I got to go the distance.
38-yard gain on the play, and they stop the clock, getting out of bounds. Play fake. Frerotte takes a look. Another throw, another connection down to the 12-yard line. Rod Smith again. A 16-yard gain on the play.
Now
receiving numbers are phenomenal, Steve.
Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout as Rod Smith is gassed after running 2 deep pass routes and 2 receptions. Watch here. All the time in the world for Gus Frerotte to throw this football. Rod Smith comes back, spears it, and gets up calling for a timeout.
How about Gus Frerotte for having an active day?
30 for 51, almost 400 yards, 398 yards with 3 touchdowns, but the 4 interceptions are killers. And you see there Brian Griese, this is watching over the huddle, staying into the game, and that's important for a quarterback to do because you never know when a couple of words inside that huddle will make a difference.
Log on to NFL.com for an in-depth profile of Dolphins running back Lamar Smith, who's having one of his best seasons in the NFL. Brian Griese listening to the offensive coaches in the press box on the earpiece. Dad Bob Griese here today, sitting with the longtime director of broadcasting, Val Pinchback from the NFL, who before that was the longtime media relations director for the Denver Broncos. They've both seen so many spectacular games here, as we all have. And this could come right down to a final play. Even though Shanahan's team is down by 13, they still have time.
Well, we've seen so many strange and wonderful things happen here in Mile High. This could be another one.
Gus Frerotte, pressure's on. Here comes the pass rush. Farrat throws to the end zone. McCaffrey. They rule he's out of bounds as he came down with the ball. And there's a flag down also. Flag down inside the 5-yard line. It could be a call against the Broncos. That's the signal at least the Chargers think it is.
It is. They called it against the Broncos. Ed McCaffrey thought he had a touchdown.
Number 87, offense. Still second down.
A little extra help getting open by McCaffrey. They're working against Fakir Brown. Watch this. Pushes him off and swims past him. Well, we'll see if he makes the catch. He thought he did. Hard to say if he hung on to the football once he dropped. It looked like a pretty good catch to me, but it didn't matter.
Well, he sure made a lot of them. 8 catches for Ed McCaffrey, 131 yards. 10 catches for Smith, Rod Smith, for 178 yards. And how about the Chargers? Graham with 4 catches for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. Conway with 4 catches for 118 yards. It's been an absolute highlight reel. Here's McCaffrey making the catch, working the sideline. They rule he was knocked down inbounds, though. The clock continues to run.
And now McCaffrey's staying down outside the sideline there. They're going to stop the clock. That was a vicious hit that he took on the sideline to knock him back. Watch here, and you watch this, and it's a bad hit. Watch what happens, but you get used to seeing Ed McCaffrey take these.
Oh, he takes a lot. He's so big. He's 6'5".
You see the guy walking around the locker room and around the practice field. The guy looks like a basketball center. He's so tall.
Out of Stanford, was originally a 3rd-round draft choice of the Giants. Dan Reeves didn't think he could do it. Waived him. Shanahan and the 49ers quickly picked him up in the '95 season. Then they got him here when Shanahan came in as head coach. And he's had a sensational career here. Came into the day with 64 catches. And today, he has caught 9 more, up to 73 catches for the season. 5 games to play after this.
And you see, for every guy that goes down, that's his wife, Lisa, there. For every guy that goes down in a game, there's a person in the stands who's hoping he gets up. I mean, I've been through that. I've been carted off the field a number of times myself, and there's always, you never think about it, but your family and friends up in the stands, at that point, the score and the game become meaningless until you get up and start walking.
Well, what's the lingering effect on these shots, though? These have to last all week long, don't they, these rib shots?
You carry baggage around all season. Just now, you see here, he's shaking his hand, he's working his hand, he's probably got a stinger down his arm or something. He'll carry that around for a couple of weeks, and just as it starts to get healed, something else will get whacked, and he'll start, and his shoulder starts being sore, and he'll work that, and that'll hurt him for a couple of weeks, and then as his shoulder heals up, his knee will go, and you see there the concern on his wife Lisa's face. She's got to watch that. And that's the bad part about being involved in the NFL. The guys and the men you love are out there taking it on the chin.
They go to battle, and this is a war today as a blitz comes at Farrat. Instead, he gets the ball up the middle of Desmond Clark, and Clark is in for a touchdown. Touchdown Broncos, a 10-yard play, a quick hitter over the middle. And Desmond Clark has his 2nd touchdown of the season. And he, with the extra point now, will bring the Broncos to within 6 points.
When these two teams met early in the year, the Denver Broncos had virtually no offensive success. They scored their points because the San Diego's turnovers down deep in their own end. Today, the Broncos came in with a much more effective game plan. Even with their backup quarterback, Gus Farrat, they've thrown the football very effectively and stayed in this game.
They sure have. They've rallied back in it. Now they're down by 6 on the Broncos, and they'll kick off. It is 37-31. The Chargers in the lead, but that lead now in jeopardy. All right, says Coach Shanahan.
Back in it.
You can't emphasize enough, Steve, these guys know how to win football games.
They really do. There's 5 minutes to go, 4:59 to go, and all they need is 1 touchdown and a defensive stop.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, why didn't a cop know before he shot and killed an Stadium, Denver, Colorado?
And you got to know, if the Denver Broncos come back and win this football game, they've beaten a team, even though the Chargers are 0-10 today, they have played a team that gave absolutely their best effort.
These
Chargers played a great game.
So many heartbreaking losses for the Chargers. Opening day, a 9-6 loss at Oakland. Next week, a 1-point loss to New Orleans. An overtime loss at Buffalo by 3. And then a 2-point loss to Oakland on October 29th. Deep kickoff, and the Chargers won't bring it back. So Steve Lindsay, who was brought in here to do nothing but kick the ball deep, did just that.
These are the close calls that the Chargers have had. Look at these games. Week 1, they lost by 3 to the Raiders. Week 2, lost by 1 to New Orleans. Week 7, lost by 3 in overtime in Buffalo. Week 8, they lost by 2 to the Raiders. Week 9, by 2 to the Seahawks. 11 points in 5 games. You don't think this game is a game of inches? The Chargers will tell you you're wrong.
The Mile High faithful are a big factor now. This place is rocking. It's shaking. Ryan Leaf gives to his fullback. And the big guy, Fazan, Jermaine Fazan, powers right at the Bronco defense and gets to the 25. And the Broncos want another timeout, so they're down to 1 timeout now. They've used 2.
And they got to believe they're going to stop the Chargers right now. And they're going to get the football back, and that's the thought process, and that's the statement Mike Shanahan makes when he calls that timeout. We're going to stop them here. They're not going to get a first down, and we're going to get as much time as we can left on the clock with 4:46 to go in the game. We're going to win this game, guys. Let's go.
The NFL on CBS kicks off the holiday season when Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots take on Charlie Batch and the Detroit Lions at the Silverdome. It all begins with Jim, Randy, Craig, Jerry, Mike, and Marcus on the NFL Today. That's Thanksgiving Day here on CBS Sports.
On the other side of it, Mike Riley's trying to rally his troops, saying, guys, we don't have to play great. Just be steady now, get a couple of first downs, and the game is ours.
First order of business, make a successful center snap connection. That's been a problem. Leaf takes a look. In trouble. On the run. Leaped. Dives ahead to the 27-yard line. Run down by Bill Romanowski in his 13th year. The guy who spends $200,000 a year on specialists just to keep him in great shape.
That's exactly right. Romo chasing him down, got stiff arm. Ryan Leaf made a positive out of a negative, showed a little poise, but that guy coming into his face. Ryan Leaf gives the stiff arm, makes some positive yards, turns it into a 3rd and short instead of a 3rd and long. Now the Chargers have got a chance.
This is huge. 3rd down and 3. Bronco defense digs in. Leaf takes a look, in trouble, makes a throw. And a penalty marker's thrown. They might have a holding call in the backfield of the Chargers, and that is the signal.
They'll decline that. And the Chargers are going to have to punt this football away.
And very nearly pass interference
really,
also.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought the defender was all over the receiver who the ball was thrown at. It was all up on him. No call.
Holding number 62 offense is declined. 4th down.
You'll see here number 62. Right back here.
Now in to punt the ball is big Darren Bennett, averaging 47 yards a punt this season. Delta O'Neal, the rookie, is back. The #1 draft choice of the Broncos. Super high punt. Howard at O'Neal, but he's got room to return it. Straight ahead return. O'Neal breaks it. And he's taken down at the 46-yard line of the Chargers. Deion Humphrey got him down. It would have gone the distance had he not made the play. A 24-yard return.
And I'll tell you what, Don, when you come into this game about 3 hours and 15 minutes ago and you tell the Chargers, okay, you're going to have a touchdown lead, 6-point lead with 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go, and you got to stop the Broncos offense. They'd take that.
Yeah.
They'd take that. This is the spot that the Chargers would love to be in because this group that's on the field right now, the defense of the Chargers is their strength.
Down by 6, the Denver Broncos looking to mount a run to the playoffs after a 4-4 start. Came into this game at 6-4. Gus Frerotte throws, connection. Rod Smith, he's inbounds. He gets 9 yards, and the clock runs down to 3:36 to play. Ron Jenkins on the tackle.
This is Gus Frerotte. You've got to know that both these teams are wishing they had all their guns blazing. Rodney Harris for the Chargers is out. is not in the game.
Neil Smith is cramping up. They had to call a timeout.
Yeah. Neil Smith can't continue. He's got to get off the field. He's probably cramping up in the altitude after a long game in the cold.
How much is there to the altitude playing here? Is it a big difference?
I always thought it was overrated. I always thought it's the same for both teams. And you can say that, yeah, the Denver Broncos train in the altitude and they're here. But for 3 hours, these guys are professional athletes. I mean, come on, you're in shape. That altitude is not going to make the difference between a win and a loss.
Well, a loss could be critical to the Broncos' playoff chances.
That's a lot of catches by those two guys. And
19 catches today. They came in with 128 between them, so they're up to 147 combined. Double running backs in an I set. Second and short. Farad, play fakes, takes a look, makes a throw, wide open inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. It's Byron Chamberlain for 21 yards. And the game clock winds down under 3 minutes to play. And now you've got the quandary for the Broncos, maybe, Steve. You don't want to score too fast.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're going to come in there. They're going to be inside the 2-minute warning by the time this drive is over. But you got to know, the Chargers offense has not shown the ability in the second half to sustain anything. Yeah, they've had some big plays, but they haven't had any much first downs.
Bill George, our statistician, pointing out under Shanahan, the Broncos are 26-0 when they score 30 or more points in a game at Mile High. So they're up to 31 now, and looks like Shanahan's feeling a lot better about his team's chances. They had some big deficits to make up today.
Yeah, they've bounced back from some huge plays that the Chargers have gashed them with. And now they're calling a timeout, and Gus Frerott's going to come over and talk things over. We saw this earlier in the game. When you get down close, communication is also important.
But you also have to consider that Frerotte and the Broncos have turned the ball over 5 times so far. They're keeping the faith here in Mile High Stadium, hoping for another comeback as we look at career highs today.
Frerotte, 450 yards career high. Ron Smith, McCaffrey, Leaf, 450 yards. That's also a Broncos record.
Broke the record of my neighbor in New Jersey, Frank Trapuka. I don't know how I'll break it to Frank. He won't take it well.
I think he just did.
Frerotte throws, and it's incomplete. And McCaffrey had it out of his hands, and Frerotte, with a strong of arm, he really gunned in a fastball.
You got to think that Ed McCaffrey would like to have that one back. Gus Frerotte waited, took his time, stepped up in the pocket. He knew McCaffrey was coming, waited in, tried to gun it in. McCaffrey makes that catch, usually.
Pat Bowlen, the owner of the Denver Broncos, and what a success story this has been. In 16 years he's owned the team. They've attracted more fans than any team in the NFL. Despite winning 2 Super Bowls and also winning 2 Super Bowls. Here's a throw, running with the ball, and getting down to the 10-yard line is Mike Anderson, and very close to a first down. Looks like he might have it.
They got a first down.
Could another dramatic ending, another dramatic victory be in the offing for the Broncos, and another heartbreaking loss for the winless Chargers be coming up?
And this is the sign of a veteran quarterback. He didn't go for the touchdown, just wanted to get the ball to a guy that can make a play. Mike Anderson battling his way for the first down. They're going to come out and measure it. But they got it. I mean, it is not even close, I don't think.
You know, there's that old adage about do you let them score and go up by 1 where you got a chance to work the field a little bit and kick a field goal. Some people thought the Broncos did that in the Super Bowl. Tonight on 60 Minutes, why didn't a cop know before he searches for her parents in Hallmark Hall of Fame's The Lost Child? It's all here. Don't miss it tonight on CBS. Now a timeout signaled for by the Chargers. So the timeout count down to 2 for San Diego to 1 for Denver.
I'll tell you what, Don, I don't do that if I'm the Chargers. I do not let them score. There's no way you fight them tooth and nail. You're asking an offense that has only shown up for 1 game today, obviously, in the entire year. You can't ask them to come out and win this thing with 1.5 minutes to go.
Joe Pascal, the defensive wizard who runs the offense, or the defense of the San Diego Chargers, pacing the sideline. He told us yesterday kind of laughing when he said, hey, we're a pretty good team. Nobody believes that, but we do.
That's exactly right, and they do. They believe it. And they've played like it today. Their offense and defense together has put up 37 points today. And with this defense, you got to think that they thought 37 points would do it for them. And as it looks now, it may not be enough.
Unbelievable. 8-touchdown game. 68 points on the board.
Now we've got they're going to review the spot of the football, maybe. This is coming down from upstairs. The guys upstairs in the replay officials booth decided they wanted to look at it again.
You want to go for 1,000? We're up to 917 yards offense, combined offense today.
It's amazing. Watch here. Mike Anderson fakes the handoff, just turns out, catches the ball, and he's got a battle. He's got to get just to the 5-yard line. Right here, bang, he spins. Oh, I don't know if he got it. He was sitting down backwards. Watch where he sits. There. And the ball then gets put across.
Well, nobody's got a better look than the linesman looking right down at it.
That's exactly right. But watch here. Now, he's going to be able to replay this. But I'll tell you the truth. It was 3rd down. And it's not going to matter because on 4th down, they got to go for it. So they're going to back them up.
But you have one less down.
That's exactly right. You got one shot to get the 1st down. Right there, the ball's down. Yeah. Right here, as he turns around, the line is the 5-yard line right there. And he was sitting down back here with the ball up here. So that's the reason they're going to respot this ball if it is what we thought. Now watch. Right there you see. Now here's where he has to get. Let me do it exactly right. There's where he has to get, and there he's down. The ball's back here. You see? So it should be well short of that line.
But it's on the line.
But they put it on the line pass. Now early in the game, we went through this before, where they gave Ed McCaffrey a 1st down and sustained a drive for a touchdown. And now they're going to say it stands as called. We've been wrong on both counts, Don.
Well, somebody's wrong.
There've been a couple reviews, and we've been wrong on all 3 of them. And I don't know, I thought the ball should have been spotted in front of that line.
On the 3rd and 16, McCaffrey was short of the 1st down.
And now it happened again, in our opinion. But it's 1st and goal on the 5 with the game on the line.
1:37 to go. Denver has 1 timeout left. Touchdown Broncos, Ed McCaffrey. And the extra point will give the Broncos the lead with 1:33 left to play. A 5-yard touchdown throw. And now, Ryan Leaf, and is really on his comeback day, young as he is, will really be put to the test. 1:33 left. His team has 2 timeouts. If they can get in field goal position, they could win it.
We saw earlier Gus Frerotte throw it up for Ed McCaffrey to try and make a play. This time it pays off.
Stunning comeback by the Broncos as they rally back and take the lead. But wait, my friends, we're not done. There's more. 1:33 left to go.
Earlier in the game, this play cost him an interception in the end zone, but not this time. Ed McCaffrey goes up. The 6'5" wide receiver goes up over the top of the defensive back, makes the catch, falls in the end zone, gives his team a chance to take the lead, which they've done. What a game this has been.
Mike Riley, who's seen heartbreak week after week as the head coach of the Chargers, can only look on as McCaffrey has now put up 10 catches for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Ed McCaffrey, who has stayed down 3 times today because he was hurt. And the pressure's off Lisa now. She knows Ed's up and running, catching touchdown passes again instead of being carted off hurt. You see they're working the kinks out. Look at that, career high 10 catches for 148 yards. He and Rod Smith have been the difference for the Broncos today.
You know this crowd is going to be a tremendous factor as Ryan Leaf and the offense come out, trying to get in field goal position. Ready to kick off as Steve Lindsay kicked his last one from this end into the end zone.
They've got to get the football back to the 30-yard line right where he's kicking it from.
They'll run it back. Here comes Rodney Jenkins. 10, Taken down at the 15-yard line. Coming down to make the play was Detron Smith. The tackle made by number 42. And now it's 1st and 10 at their 15 for the Chargers, down by 1. Tonight on 60 Minutes, why didn't a cop know before he shot and killed an African-American that the man he killed was also a cop? It's 60 Minutes tonight.
Well, there's one thing that the Chargers have going for them. The Ryan Leaf that they came in here with is not the same Ryan Leaf that has been playing in San Diego for 3 years. This is a different guy, and now we're going to see how different.
He's coming up under center. He's going to go from the shotgun. He's going to look long ball before long. The blitz is coming. Leaf stands in. Makes a throw. It's tipped at the line and knocked down. Incomplete. And Mike Riley's team now has 3 downs to advance the ball down the field for more first down.
You know, you wonder how well, you look at how well that Mike Riley's his team has played today. And you think what the things they've been through this year. They have not been able to win all the close games. You got to wonder, he's thinking, what do we have to do to get a victory?
The blitzers align for the Broncos. Here comes the snap. They come with just a 3-man rush. Throw and a catch. Heading out to the 22-yard line, but the Broncos will give them that all day long, and Leaf is forced to use one of the 2 remaining timeouts. They don't stop the clock, though. He signaled for it.
No, he didn't signal. He was asking the sidelines if they wanted a timeout, and they didn't.
He's asking them. Okay, I saw him give the T.
He's looking at the timeout. He's looking at the sideline to make sure they don't want it or do want it. Now they're just in a hurry up with a minute to go. It doesn't get any tougher than this for a young quarterback.
Leaf stands in. Looks long. Jeff Graham, he won't get there. A long ball as Leaf arced that ball 65 yards in the air. And now 4th down arises. 2 timeouts left. He's got to convert the first down and then try to hit the deep ball again.
And the Broncos have decided earlier in the second half they sent everybody at Ryan Leaf. Well, now it's just the opposite. They're rushing only 3 guys and making him find somebody open down the field. We'll see if they stick with that tactic right now.
And these Bronco fans are something. What an ally they are to their comeback team. Blitz, throw, incomplete, game over. Broncos will win it. Leaf making a hot read. The receiver coming off the flank wasn't even looking back.
The receiver didn't see the blitz, didn't react to it, wasn't ready for the pass. Ryan Leaf made the right throw. The receiver wasn't ready. You see there, this is Mike Riley on 4th down, and the ball falls incomplete. He knows it's all over for today. They had a good run, had an opportunity.
Look at these guys.
The intensity is unbelievable. They got it turned all the way up. Down 17 points here in the second half. They come back and win it. You got to tip your hat to this Broncos franchise and this team.
Broncos, Chargers will stop the clock twice. They quickly call a timeout with 40 seconds left. They've got 2 timeouts, and now they finally stop it at 36 seconds. They were signaling immediately. What can a coach and a quarterback say?
You know what,
given everything they had?
After a game like this, you feel like you deprive yourself of the win, but you know what? It's as good as they've played offensively all year. And
well, Ryan Leaf, Steve, hit 13. It's pretty remarkable the numbers he has. 13 of 27 passes for 311 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was intercepted once.
And Gus Frerotte coming in as a backup.
58 throws for Frerotte. He's hit 36 of 58 for 462 yards and 5 touchdowns.
His arm's going to be on ice tomorrow just because it's tired.
He's also been intercepted 4 times, but he won't be throwing any more today.
And there's
the last timeout. And the Broncos with 2 timeouts to run it out. With 2 plays still to come.
It'll only take 1. Ed McCaffrey, the Warrior with Rod Smith, these 2 guys, you want to talk about a game. These 2 guys had a game. Wow. Ed McCaffrey looked, I mean, you'd think
the guy's going to be have to put together with Staples.
Well, they combined, Steve, McCaffrey and Smith for 21 catches for 333 yards. Excuse me, 333 yards. This is unbelievable.
They got the calculator out up here.
Now we got him up to 335 yards.
335, there you go. 21 catches, 335 yards. We were pushing buttons on a calculator.
I'm not, but there's somebody in this 335 is the official number.
And that's the last play.
That will do it. So another heartbreaking loss for Mike Riley and his Chargers in an unbelievable comeback win as the Denver Broncos roll on to the playoffs with 3 straight wins. They win by a point, 38-37. I'm sure Mike Shanahan had great admiration, good friends, saying, hang in there, guy, you got a winner down the line, and I think he does.
Yeah, he really does. And I'll tell you what, those two coaches have a lot of respect for each other. What a rivalry.
Now for Steve Tasker, this is Don Criqui saying so long from Denver, where the final score is the Denver Broncos 38, CBS. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 35.
It's an incredible game, Bill. We're not going to call this one the Mile High Miracle because the Broncos had no business being in this situation that they put themselves in. But we will call it the Mile High Rescue because what the Broncos did today was not only rescue this game, they rescued their season and they keep their playoff hopes alive by beating the winless Chargers. We know now why the Chargers are winless. And it was the second half that the Broncos came back. Ryan Leaf kept allowing them to stay in the game with fumbles. Gus Frerotte panicked here, made this atrocious throw. It was intercepted by Fakir Brown in the end zone. 2 plays later, it was Ryan Leaf who loaded it up for ancient Jeff Graham, who just toasted Ray Crockett on this day, and Ray Crockett had a horrible game. Leaf had 3 touchdown passes in the game. He only had 4 in his career coming in. It seemed like the Broncos were done, but Gus Frerotte rescues them. Magnificent second half here to Eddie McCaffrey. Frerotte, 462 yards, a Broncos record in passing. Elway never did that. Greasy never did that. Gary Miller spoke with Gus Frerotte on the field just moments ago.
Guys won this game. No, throwing 4 interceptions, come back and winning. It's awesome.
You guys never gave up.
Unbelievable. No, the whole team played well, and we came back and won the game when we had to. Thanks, guys.
It's the kind of thing now where a team can rally around Gus Frerotte just like they were behind Brian Greasy. He proved himself here in the second half of this game. Mike Shanahan is making his post-game comments in the Broncos locker room now. Let's join that live.
That the game was most out of hand. You didn't have a chance to come back.
There was a lot of those moments in the game. I think anybody that watching it probably realistically would have said, hey, it looks like the game's over here, there, and nobody gave up, and that's what you got to do. I thought our guys really concentrated on one play at a time in that second half. We knew we missed some opportunities in that first half, and the only chance we had was to approach it that way, and I think that's what we did. We approached it that way, made some plays when we had to, and had a little adversity along the way.
Mike, can you comment on Gus Ferrotte's performance?
Yeah, it's not too many times, I give a guy a game ball right after the game. And the reason why I do that, because there's so many people involved in a football game, it's really hard to isolate one guy. But for him to have 4 interceptions and have a fumble in that game and still have the intestinal fortitude to keep on fighting and find a way to make those plays at the end, I thought was really a tribute to him. The way he hung in there and the way he fought, and really proud, too, of the offensive line, with the protection they gave him against an excellent defensive football team. And defensively, even though we gave up that one
Mike
big
Shanahan
play,
commenting on the performance of Gus Frerotte this afternoon. I don't recall seeing a quarterback perform so poorly and so well in the same game. 4 interceptions, then he comes back and throws for a plus 400 yards. The Broncos made Ryan Leaf look good today, and that's very difficult to do, so they still have to address the defense. Gave up a lot of big plays back there. It looked a lot like that Cincinnati game when they gave up the big plays to Corey Dillon. But in the end, hey, they'll take the W, trust me.
Well, that cannot be good for a coach's innards, a game like that.
No. 38-37 against an 0-10 San Diego team.
Yeah.
Woo. We'll have more tonight on Super Sports Sunday, of course.
Is this as bad as it can get and as good as it can get in a matter of 3 hours?
I don't think you can get any lower or any higher than we got tonight. It was a bunch of plays that we should have made but didn't make, a bunch of plays that we gave up on defense, but everybody bounced back and never gave up. And like I said, peaks and valleys, and we just ended up on top of the peaks.
Gus Frerotte, 460-some-odd yards throwing. Did you guys believe you could come back?
Oh, we always believe we'd come back. We wasn't going to give up on anybody. And, you know, you can't say enough about Gus. Gus threw for 460-some-odd yards and threw 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You just can't say enough about that guy.
Thank you very much, Desmond Clark. The Broncos with an incredible comeback here.
Diego, knowing the two teams of the 90s, the 0-10 won their 11th game, knowing their last win was in Denver last year, knowing that Denver lost to 0-4 New England and 0-6 Cincinnati, San Diego starts Ryan Leaf to Curtis Conway. Look at him move against a pair of Broncos. Whoop, 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 whoop. 68 yards, I'm running out of whoops. 10-7, the Chargers. What a great play. 68 yards at Mile High Stadium. Ryan Leaf and the Chargers lead 17-7 second. Gus Frerotte playing for the injured Brian Griese. Picked off by Scott Turner. He shakes, rattles, rolls for 75 yards. 24-7, San Diego. They're going to win it. They're going to win it. 27-17 now in the third quarter. Leaf against the blitz. Oh, just misses Jeff Graham too deep.
Well, you see the all-out blitz coming here, and you see Ryan Leaf being aggressive against the blitz. Just remember the play. He overshot Graham right there.
Then a couple plays later, Ryan Leaf. Oh, it's a fumble. Bill Romanowski falls on it from Vernon, Connecticut. Ensuing possession, 3rd and goal from the 2. Frerotte picked off by Fakir Brown. So the Chargers defense, to the chagrin of Mike Shanahan, keeps him up by 10. Blitz. Leaf hits to Graham. There's the play. This time he hits it. He could go all the way. Get in there, Jeff. 83 yards. 34-17. San Diego. Broncos score to make it 37-24. Frerotte to Desmond Clark. 10 yards. Wait a minute. 37-31. He's in. Broncos under 4. Have the ball again. Frerotte. Rod Smith. 8 yards. Then to the 38. Frerotte. To the tight end, Byron Chamberlain. 23 yards. Frerotte. To Ed McCaffrey. No, he just can't hold on. 3rd and 8 from the 13. Under 2 minutes. Frerotte. Swing to Mike Anderson. First down at the 5. 1st and goal from the 5. Frerotte. Chargers, Mike Riley wants to tell, let's get organized. The lob to McCaffrey, it's a touchdown. Kick Elam, good. 38-37 Denver. Ryan Leaf on 4th and 4, trying to pull this one out after the Chargers had it in the bag. Incomplete. Oh my God, the Chargers fall to 0-11. They've lost the last 5 games by a total now of 18 points. And Denver, although they're ashamed of this in many ways, they get 38 points behind Frerotte, and they're very much in the hunt at 7-4.
Well, certainly it was going to be a tough game for the Broncos. San Diego always plays them tough. I think that you're so demoralized if you're the Chargers. Your offense finally played well defensively. Once you had the 17-point lead, that's all on Junior Seau and company. They will feel that for the rest of the week.
Denver escapes with no Griese and no team.
37 seconds left. Frerotte has him at the line of scrimmage. 1st and goal from the 5. Fade pattern right side for McCaffrey. Leaping effort in the end zone. There's a Denver touchdown.
It wasn't easy, but the Broncos get it done against the Chargers today. They brought everything but the powder blue uniforms.
I have got to be honest with you, David. After losing to the Patriots and the Bengals, I thought the Broncos would come out today and absolutely trash San Diego.
And they should have. According to my prediction I did the other night, 31-10. Check out the first touchdown. Easy Ed McCaffrey sprinting off the corner there. You can't stop that. Shockingly, Ryan Leaf and the Chargers answer. It's a little skinny post. Curtis Conway, he's so wide open he doesn't know what to do. I've seen better tackling at high school games as he finds a way to get to the end zone. Denver's going to have an opportunity to drive late in the second half. And guess what? Scott Turner is going to step in front of Byron Chamberlain, and he's going to go the distance. It's 75 yards in all. The Chargers had 27 points off turnovers. First 5 minutes are always the most important in the second half. And what happens? Gus Frerotte nearly loses his head as well as losing the ball. The Chargers kick a field goal. They're up by 17 now, but Denver doesn't give up. Watch the nice route here by Dwayne Carswell, wide open. He finds the end zone. The Broncos pull to within 10. Ryan Leaf fumbles on the ensuing snap. You think Broncos are in the scoring territory, but no, he throws a pick in the red zone. You can't do that. Throw it away. What do the Chargers do? They answer on a blitz call by the Broncos. That one's Jeff Graham, 83 yards in all, and Denver's down by 17 again. So have you given up yet? No, don't give up. Late in the fourth, the Broncos are going to score 21 points. The first one here to Rod Smith. He atones for his tipped interception there. And then Desmond Clark over the middle. Little read on the blitz call. He wasn't going to stop the legs turn until he got in the end zone, and he did. The Broncos pull to within 6, and Gus Frerotte, he's going to be money right here. He's going to find easy Ed McCaffrey on the fade route. Great individual effort by Eddie McCaffrey. The Broncos find a way to win this game. Jason Elam kicks the extra point, 38-37. They move to 7-4. They have over 500 yards of offense and eke out the win over the hapless Chargers.
Have you got your breath, David?
Woo! That was fun.
Statistically, it was a huge day for Gus Frerotte, a Bronco single-game passing record, over 460 yards passing on the day, including the game-winning touchdown pass to Ed McCaffrey in the closing minutes to give Denver the victory. Now, after the game, Frerotte took some of the blame for the big hole the Broncos found themselves in.
It was a good game, but, you know, I look at my things. I have 4 interceptions, 2 in the red zone, and, you know, if we wouldn't have had those, it wouldn't have been so close. But you got to give the Chargers a lot of credit. They came out and they played a heck of a game, and we just had to battle back, and, you know, we got to win when we needed it.
It was a big day for Eddie Mack, 10 catches for 148 yards, but the most important catch of them all was the 5-yard touchdown with just 1 minute 32 seconds remaining in the contest.
You know, I attribute that to Gus. A lot of quarterbacks, you know, if something doesn't work out, may not go back to a receiver, and he believed in me, and that means a lot to me. He threw it right back to me, and thank goodness I made the play.
The Broncos had to go it again, once again, without Terrell Davis. It was up to Mike Anderson to carry the load at running back. Anderson had a solid day, 19 carries for 97 yards after having only 15 in the first half. He was it, though, as far as the Denver rushing attack.
It was real frustrating. They got on top of us so quick, and then next thing you knew, we was in the passing mode. But I just knew, you know, it was going to come down to, you know, either running the ball, protection, or catching the ball out of the backfield. You know, somebody had to make a play. And I just wanted the opportunity to get a chance to make a play.
Conway, the flanker to the lower right.
If the Broncos had not rallied to win, no doubt the Broncos defense would have taken a lot of heat. Linebacker Bill Romanowski had a big day, pick, fumble recovery, and a sack. But the defense did give up over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns to Ryan Leaf. Now that is hard to do.
One play at a time. Can't do anything about the first half. It's over with. Play it one play at a time, and we'll get it. And that's what we did. We went out and got it.
Yeah, at halftime, I mean, a couple of guys are real emotional. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, goodness, you know, these guys are killing us. You know, what are we going to do? And then we just start saying, you know, we have to believe. We have to believe we can do it.
I think it definitely took some of the Bronco leaders to step up at halftime and say some encouraging words, because they came out with a vengeance in the second half, at least defensively. Took them a little while to get going offensively.
Now, why do you think the Chargers are able to play the Broncos so competitively? And they did in San Diego as well.
I think I have a good answer for that, because they play them twice a year, every year. They know all their tendencies and little nuances. It doesn't matter whether the Chargers are 0-10 or not. They came in here. They're not a bad football team, as you saw Ryan Leaf, but I'm still not that impressed with the guy.
I thought he actually played his best game as a pro today.
That's not saying much.
Now, I'm from Washington State, so maybe I'm biased.
We're 7 minutes and 3 seconds away from their 5th defeat of the year. That is a Denver touchdown. 59 to go. The Broncos trying to stay alive. Fake pattern right side for McCaffrey. Leaping up for the Denver touchdown. So the second biggest fourth-quarter comeback in franchise history. Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3, photo.
Flag raising the ball for the air. Caught, touchdown.
He scores! How about it, Denver? Touchdown, Denver Broncos. Here we go. He's gone. And down he goes.
Live from Jackson's All-American Sports Grill,
It's the Broncos Huddle with Mike Shanahan. Now, here's Tony Zarella.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching and welcome to the show. And Mike, congratulations, 3 straight. You guys at 7-4 are looking pretty good in the playoff picture, but I would imagine that you'd like to have them just a little bit easier than yesterday.
It's a little tough in the old heart. It was a nice win, though. I was really pleased with the way we fought back and didn't look good for a while, but kept our poise and kept on working and made things happen.
Mike, as Tony said, obviously you'd like to have it a little easier, but it's got to, I think, be a positive for you to see your team battle back. I mean, you're 13 points down, I think, with 5.5 to go, and that thing could have easily got away from you.
Yeah, it's really nice. Anytime you can see the guys on the sideline, everybody's into it, everybody's trying to make plays, and what we did, we stubbed our toes so many times to be able to work through that and keep on fighting back. Really says a lot about the character of your football team, and I think we came together as a team, knowing that regardless who we play, we got to play for 60 minutes. We got an opportunity to make things happen if we play that way.
Well, before we get to the recap of the game, I want to update everybody on Ray Crockett. You get the bad news today, and obviously this is not a good situation.
Yeah, it seems like our captains keep on going down on us, but Ray tore a hamstring, bad tear in the hamstring. On that one go route you saw him, the leg give out on him, and it'll be at least 4 weeks, so that's bad news. But Jimmy Spencer came in, played well. Deltha O'Neal gets some playing time now in the nickel. He'll be our first substitute. The chances are we'll bring up Jason Suttle from our practice squad, activate him. He's got some experience in our system. He'll do a good job for us.
I know you don't make excuses, Mike, but as long as you've been around football and as long as you've been around the NFL, have you ever experienced anything like this where week after week you see a team going through this?
I don't want to experience any more, but it really talks about your character when a guy like Gus comes in and plays the way he does. Mike Anderson played an exceptional game at running back, not only in running the ball, but in pass protection, kind of chipping some of those defensive linemen. Lenny Freeman comes in, plays exceptionally well. All of a sudden, Ray Crockett goes down, and Jimmy Spencer comes in. And that's what you have to have. You have to have some depth. You have to have guys playing well when your starters go out. And I think that shows a lot about the character of your team when guys keep on fighting back.
I'm not sure you've had any more injuries, to be honest about it, than you had last year, though, when you think it's been 2 years running.
Yeah, we really have. You know, it's kind of ironic. The first 4 years, we lose 2 guys. We lose Torrey James in a preseason game. We lose Bill Musgrave in the 16th game of the season in the third quarter. And last year we lost 9. This year we've lost a few, but the majority of them are coming back, so hopefully we'll have them down the stretch.
Well, Mike mentioned Gus Frerotte. It took 58 passes on the part of Gus Frerotte and 58.5 minutes for the Broncos to rally in this one, but in the end, they put away the Chargers in dramatic fashion.
Not a bad day here for mid to late November.
Get your mind right, baby! Get your mind right! Hey, we can't afford to be flat. This is our home. We play Bronco football at home. These guys are 0-10, so expect their best shot.
Leaf, play fakes, rolls to his right, pressure, throws, pass going to be intercepted at the end zone goal line. It's Bill Romanowski. Throw to the right side to McCaffrey at the goal line. That is going to be a Denver touchdown. This is going to be caught. That's Conway. He is loose and still on his feet. Missed tackles, a couple of them. He is to the pylon, and that is a San Diego touchdown. Frerotte will throw. Looks left, throws left, a slant too hard. It's going to be intercepted. Quiet crowd in Mile High. Now pressure. Leaf steps up, throws deep. Graham is there, makes the catch, steps into the end zone. Ooh, this one's getting ugly here. Pass is going to be intercepted, and look out. Gus Frerotte with the only chance to get Turner, and this is going to be a San Diego touchdown. We've come to the end of the first half here at Mile High Stadium. It's not a happy crowd, as you might suspect.
Second half, new half. Let them in some football. Got to pull this thing off.
Frerotte has fumbled the football, and San Diego's recovered. Frerotte stops, throws. Carswell's got it. 5 to the goal line. That is a Denver touchdown. An ill-advised throw by Gus Frerotte. Here comes the house. Leaf lobs one down the right side. Jeff Graham's got it. This is going to be a San Diego touchdown. 83 yards. And Farrat with a nice pump fake. Smith well behind the defense, and the Broncos are not dead yet. In the pocket, towards the middle of the field, the leaping effort by Rod Smith goes right through his hands and intercepted. And the air out of the balloon a little bit here at Mile High Stadium. Blitz on the way, hot route. Pass is going to be caught to the goal line. Desmond Clark, did he get in? Yes, he did. There's a little emotion left in this crowd after all. 25 yards on the return. And a minute, 38 seconds to go. Fade pattern right side for McCaffrey. Leaping effort in the end zone. That is a Denver touchdown. .462 yards, 5 touchdown passes. And Denver is going to get out of here with a victory. A little Mile High magic in the last year for this great stadium.
That's a Mile High Stadium wild one right there.
Wild one, I guess, would be an understatement. And, you know, you mentioned Gus earlier in the show, and you look at a guy that goes out in that situation and just got better and better as the game went on.
Really did. Anytime you come in that situation, you have some setbacks, you have some turnovers, you got to keep your concentration level, and that's what Gus did. You know, we had some things that didn't work out early, and he kept his poise and his concentration level and made things happen.
You know, we stop and think about it. San Diego, obviously not a good team. They're winless this year, but defensively, they have always caused you guys some problems over the years.
Well, they've caused a lot of people problems over the years. I mean, even this year against the Raiders, 9-6, 15-13. They held the Raiders at 225 yards each one of those games, and I could go through 4 or 5 games this year where they held opponents to 250 yards and less. They've turned the ball over a little bit on offense, and they've lost 6 games by 12 points. So, you know, they're a lot better football team than the record indicates.
You start adding up Gus's numbers. If you look at the interceptions, you feel after the game, and you knew that you could take 2 or 3 of those and say if other things happened, those weren't Gus's fault?
Well, you don't really worry about whose fault it is, but obviously the 2 that goes through the receiver's hands, and the one we had on the on Byron's, he's got to keep on going. It's still, Gus will tell you the first thing, it wasn't the right read, but at least we keep the thing from getting intercepted. And you don't mind that. So those mistakes do happen. But as a quarterback, what you have to do is you got to shake it off. And that's what he did. You got turnovers, you set yourself, obviously, back as a football team. But he kept his poise and made the plays when you had to make them. That's what you got to do. You just got to wipe it out and keep on going. And great quarterbacks can do that.
I asked you after the game if you could remember a game in which you turned the football over 5 times and still managed to come back and win.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever turned a football or been on a football team that's turned the ball over 5 times and found a way to win, especially being 17 points down at the start of the 4th quarter.
All right, well, when the huddle continues, we're going to tackle arguably the best tandem of receivers in the NFL at this point. Ed McCaffrey, Rod Smith, that and much more. And Gus Farrat, of course, coming up here at Jackson's. We'll be right back.
Coming up, we'll get a player's point of view. But first, we'll take a look at the Seattle Seahawks when the Broncos huddle continues.
All right, welcome back. Next up, of course, the Seahawks up in Seattle. Before we talk about them, Mike, can you update us on Terrell Davis?
Well, we had another MRI today, and MRI was negative, so that's a good sign. So it's a little bit sore. The good part about it, there's no structural damage, so we'll keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully he's feeling a little bit better.
And you're going out of state here. I mean, can you tell us about the doctor up in San Francisco that may be able to look at something? Or?
Well, they got one of the specialists that looks at the MRIs and one of the top people in the world, and they want to take a look at it. Our doctors took a look at it today. They felt very good about it, but they're going to have him cross-check, and we'll find out sometime tomorrow.
Still the same situation for Terrell, I would imagine. You want him to feel good about coming back and playing.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I mean, he's got to feel like he can come back and help our football team. If not, a guy like Mike Anderson played exceptional yesterday. He's ready. He's feeling a lot more comfortable with the system. Played exceptionally well. We got Karan Coleman. And so we got time. If Terrell's not feeling good, we'll get him well, and hopefully down the stretch he'll be ready.
You got a couple on the road now, beginning in Seattle next Sunday. Always a tough place to play. They've been struggling this year, but they're one of those division teams that, like the Chargers, that when you guys bang heads with them, they always seem to hang with you.
Well, we've proved there's nobody easy on our schedule. You know, we've got to play hard. We've got to play as a team, and when we play as a team, we're capable of, beating some good football teams. But hopefully that was a learning experience yesterday, playing for 60 minutes, and we'll play a little bit better the last 5 games.
It looks like you might get Brock Heward instead of John Kitna. Does that matter at all in terms of how you prepare?
To be honest with you, I haven't seen him play. I've watched Kitna play. I haven't looked at the film yet. It'll be interesting to see how he has played. I know Mike wants to evaluate him last 5 games of the season to see if he's a quarterback of the future.
You surprised they've been struggling the way they've been struggling?
Well, you never know. You get a couple injuries, or all of a sudden the chemistry's not right on a football team. A little tougher schedule this year than last year, and all of a sudden you get on a roll one way or another. And at least they were able to win the last game, which gives them a little momentum coming into this game, especially with the bye week. So we're going to have our hands full.
And it seems like Ricky Waters is playing pretty good football, even though the Seahawks aren't winning a lot of games.
Yeah, Ricky is playing well. He's handling himself well. He seems a lot more poised than the time when I spent with Ricky. When I was with Ricky, a few years in San Francisco, and when he went to Philly, he had some problems, but he is really playing hard. He's running the ball good. He's catching the ball well. He looks like he's one of the leaders on their football team.
Well, when we come back, we're shifting gears back to the Broncos offense. Gus Frerotte joining us here in the set down at Jackson's when the Broncos huddle continues. Stay with us.
When the Broncos huddle continues, we'll be joined by the Huddle All-Star.
Pad on right side for McCaffrey. Leaping effort in the end zone. There's a Denver touchdown.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go.
Fake pad on right side for McCaffrey. Leaping effort in the end zone. There's a Denver touchdown.
Welcome back. Gus Frerotte joining us. That was a great moment yesterday in the locker room, and Mike tosses you the game ball, and your teammates were embracing you before that moment and afterwards, and it seemed like, that they knew at halftime that you were going to bounce back and keep that even keel, and they were, telling you that after the game.
Everybody was with me throughout the whole game. Everybody, keep your head up, let's keep going. I think a lot of guys had confidence in me, and that really helped me, and it helped that Coach Shanahan had a lot of confidence in me to keep throwing the ball, and that's what we had to do to win, and I had a lot of help around me.
Speaking of throwing the ball, have you ever, at any level, thrown 58 passes in a game?
No, never. Never. And it was amazing. It was an amazing day. Coach was mentioning the protection I had. There was a couple of times where I got hit, and the one was it was a hot guy, and I couldn't get rid of the ball, and he hit me pretty hard. But other than that, the line did awesome. The backs coming out and blocking when they had to, and just the guys making plays all day. It was a great game.
We're looking at the numbers right there, 462. Can you talk Mike into letting you throw it maybe 70 times on Sunday against the Seahawks?
I don't want to throw it 70 times. I think we should just run the ball and let me throw it 10 times and win the game, and we'll be fine.
Mike, this is one of the, you didn't expect Brian to get hurt, obviously, but when you went out and signed Gus in the offseason, come in and compete for the job, you wanted 2 quarterbacks that were capable of stepping in and leading your team.
What I was really impressed with Gus is he's come in the offseason, did everything we've asked him to do, to learn the system, to obviously get a feel for our receivers. And you never know when you're a second-team quarterback, you're one play away from being the starter. But you got to prepare each week like you are the starter, because you never know when somebody's going to go down. And that's when I've been most impressed with Gus, is he's done everything we've asked him to do. He studies. He does everything to do to learn our system, and it's pretty complicated to come in your first year, because it's not the system that's complicated, but you got to learn terminology. You've got to put terminology with obviously players and secondary coverages, and he's adjusted very well.
Yeah, I mean, you'd been taking most of the reps on Wednesdays because Brian's shoulder situation, the first shoulder situation. But how different is it for you when you get into a game, and how much time did you feel it took you yesterday to really get into the rhythm?
It is different. I mean, you can practice all you want with Rod and Ed and all the other guys, and it's not the same tempo. You know, even for me throwing the ball, I'm going to throw it a little harder in the game, and that's just how I play. And I think it was a kind of a tempo for the whole offense to get in sync with each other. You know, with me as a new quarterback being in there with snap counts, cadence, and then throwing the ball to the receivers, getting used to me. So it was a whole thing. I think it took a little bit to get ready, but you know, I've been here all year. I've played in Kansas City games, so they kind of know what I'm like, and so it was good to have a little bit of experience with them before.
You know, Rod and Eddie had big games, but I think it takes time for a receiver to adjust to a new quarterback, too. The ball just comes in different.
Well, there's no question, especially with the velocity that Gus has on the ball. I mean, he throws the ball as hard as anybody that I've been around, so I don't care if it's a comeback or if it's a go route or a post route. The ball comes obviously at a different speed, and it's going to take some time to adjust. But we made some plays when we had to, and just like that right there, Eddie caught the ball, got up very quickly. That's what you have to do. Receivers that are wearing obviously a big play at that time of the game.
Gus, you got two guys there, Ed McCaffrey and Rod Smith, who, well, everybody knows about the Sports Illustrated article early in the year saying they'd lost a step. They certainly don't look it. You could argue that this is the best tandem of receivers in the NFL right now.
I don't think there's any question about it that they are. They're incredible. They go out and they play hard every game, and when you ask them to run block, they're going out and knocking safeties down, and they do everything that it takes to be a great player.
And you guys got to remember, I paid the guy at Sports Illustrated to write that article to upset those guys.
Well, it worked, at least with Rod. I can guarantee you that.
You know, talk a little bit about, I mean, receivers have to make plays. These guys seem like they're just incredible at making plays, even when they're covered.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that I have such confidence in them because just from watching Brian all year and just going in and playing with them, that when they are covered, throw the ball up, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to come down with it.
Now, hang out for 2 more minutes. One more break here in the huddle, and when we come back with Mike, Gus Frerotte, Dave Logan, we'll be right back here at Jackson. Stay with us.
We'll get some parting thoughts when the Broncos huddle continues.
Denver, from 17 points behind in the fourth quarter, has come back and beaten the
It was overtime. So quite nasty. San Diego had drove down to about our 25-yard line, and time was running out. So they were going to kick the field goal, win the game, that'd be it. They lined up for the kick. We're ready to go. They snapped the ball, and Dennis blocked the kick, and I picked it up. And I thought I was going for a touchdown. The referee was blowing the whistle, and they were like, stop. And we were like, what? And so finally, after we huddled up, they said, nope, that play doesn't count. That was a dead play. Somebody called timeout. And we're in the huddle. I remember Tom Jackson was like, timeout? Nobody called. Who called timeout? And from the back of the huddle, the little head, Mike Harden, like, I did. He said, well, Dan told me to call timeout, you know? So we're like, oh, shit, that'll never happen. We'll never. But Dennis was in the huddle like, I can do it. I can block it again. I was thinking, okay, well, just in case, I'm kind of going to ease over here just in case the ball bounces. And sure enough, when the ball was snapped.
Ball is down. Thomas's kick is blocked. Picked up on the run. Here comes Louis Wright. They won't catch him.
It was just incredible that it happened. It's like lightning striking twice in the exact same spot.
And Louis Wright is mobbed as he goes through the end zone.
I don't need to ask you what your mile-high memory is. It's probably pretty recent. But you just said something during the break that's interesting. We were talking about Rod Smith and his first big catch, the game-winning catch against the Redskins. You were on the Redskins.
Yeah, I was on the other side. I got to watch Rod's catch, so I wasn't real happy with him back then, but I really like him now. So, but that was an amazing day. You know, we had a great game. It came down the wire again, and another comeback that in Mile High.
We'll keep it going in Seattle. You looked great yesterday, and we'll be with you up there. And good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You look good. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks for having me on tonight.
See you soon. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
You're doing pretty well yourself in the Final Four.
We're hanging.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on the Broncos Huddle.
And a right side for McCaffrey. Leaping effort in the end zone, made the Denver touchdown.
The Broncos Huddle with Mike Shanahan has been brought to you by First Bank, the Colorado Bank for you, by General Motors, by Coors Light, and by Jackson's All-American Sports Grill.
Enjoy your day off. Let's get ready